It's Wednesday, July 29th.
I don't care. I mean, I don't really want to.
More uncertainty over CUSMA as the U.S. president says he doesn't care about a trade deal with our country.
The photo speed enforcement program is really about safety. It encourages drivers to follow the posted speed limits, especially in high-risk areas, which helps prevent collisions, injuries, and fatalities.
After a brief pause, photo radar will return in full operation. We'll tell you when.
It was a collective aspiration to honor this chief.
A bridge crossing the South Saskatchewan River on Muscoda First Nation has been renamed. We have a conversation with the Highway Minister coming up. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday.
Big day in both cities. The Queen City X is kicking off here in Regina, and there's a nice parade happening for the Saskatoon X.
Saskatoon's officially kicks off tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of great food, great rides, good times.
We don't have a parade here anymore. That was one of the parades I used to walk in.
We could just go walk down Albert Street and wave.
Just do a lot of this. 6:01. Let's get to your news headlines. I'm sure lots of people would love to see that. More uncertainty this morning over CUSMA, with the U.S. president saying he doesn't care about the trade deal.
Here's the thing. Mexico and Canada need us. We don't need them. The deal is important for them. It's not important for us.
Trump made the comments during a call-in interview with Fox and Friends. It's not the first time U.S. President Donald Trump has taken this tone. In June, he told reporters he wasn't looking to renew the deal. But this latest comment has prompted new questions about Canada's ability to get the Americans to make a deal. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and the chief trade negotiator are in Washington this week, but it's unclear who they're meeting with. There are just 3 weeks before the U.S. president hits a range of Canadian imports with a 50% tariff. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt says she's ready to do what she can to help Canada gain leverage in those talks.
We have to be very strategic about how we use the leverage that we have. But I think one of my colleagues around the table used the quote, you need to walk softly and carry a big stick.
Premier Holt says she's willing to leverage energy exports to New England in negotiations. The Premier estimates new 50% tariffs threatened by the U.S. will impact $112 million of New Brunswick products alone. Not all premiers, however, are on the same page when it comes to using energy as leverage. The premiers of Alberta and our province have spoken out against the idea. Photo radar will return in full force next week. SGI says they've secured a new vendor for services. Now, the cameras won't be inside these gray boxes anymore. They will be mounted on poles. The locations, signage, and fine amounts will not change.
The photo speed enforcement program is really about safety. It encourages drivers to follow the posted speed limits, especially in high-risk areas, which helps prevent collisions, injuries, and fatalities.
Saskatchewan has 9 cameras that rotate between 27 locations. Saskatchewan is touting thousands of healthcare hires, but the health minister can't say how many workers it lost along the way, making it unclear how much the workforce has actually grown. CTV's Laura Woodward takes a look at the numbers.
Looking for a change from Florida. We had been there about 10 years.
While he hasn't yet survived a Saskatchewan winter, Dr. Brian Stout now calls Saskatoon home. He started working at Jim Pattison Children's Hospital in April after seeing an online recruitment advertisement.
We decided this is a good place to raise a family, and here we are.
The province says more than 7,500 healthcare workers have joined the system over the past 4 years. But when asked how many workers left during that same period, Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell couldn't say.
I don't have that number. We focus on the recruitment numbers. Obviously, we look at licensure numbers.
Of the thousands of healthcare workers added, physicians account for 742 of those hires, or about 10%.
Saskatchewan is calling. Grow your practice, grow your life.
Last Last year's international campaigns, including ads like these, led to 7 doctors either working in Saskatchewan or making their way through the hiring process.
It's very competitive. You've got every province, for an example, just to consider Canada, offering different incentives.
The recruitment agency says affordability has become one of Saskatchewan's biggest selling points.
If you're a young nurse who's graduated from health sciences in the province of British Columbia, are you going to be able to afford a house? Well, you can here.
While the province is celebrating its recruitment, it says this isn't the finish line. Efforts will continue as Saskatchewan's growing population puts pressure on the healthcare system. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Regina's urgent care centre will be running reduced hours for several days over the next week. The early closures begin today and tomorrow, when the urgent care will close at 2 p.m. On Friday, it'll close at 4. Heading into the long weekend, Saturday will have normal operation hours before urgent care closes at 2 p.m. on Sunday, then 4 p.m. Monday. When the centre isn't operating, patients are instead directed to either of Regina's emergency rooms. So more concern there. Premier Scott Moe attended the funeral of a former U.S. senator. Moe joins several federal government officials representing Canada after receiving a personal invitation from the family of Lindsey Graham. The premier met with Graham several times, including last year, discussing trade and the energy sector. Graham visited Saskatchewan twice, in 2009 and 2015, including a stop at the Legislative Building where he thanked Canadian troops for their service in Afghanistan. In a release yesterday, Moe stated Graham had a deep understanding of Saskatchewan and its importance to North America energy and food security, adding he was always gracious. Graham died on July 11th of a heart issue. He was 71. A video shared to social media showing the arrest of a 40-year-old woman Monday morning is raising concern. We've got our best Jeremy on it. JD, where do we begin with this?
Well, Daryl, the video was taken on the Mukwesasagayan First Nation, and it sparked concern with some saying the RCMP officers used excessive force. Now, a warning, this video might be disturbing to some viewers. It's 1.5 minutes long. It does not capture the events leading up to the arrest, but the woman, Rose Georgina Angus, is seen with blood running down her face. The situation has prompted backlash. Angus's daughter posted the video and says she's organizing a peaceful protest at the Loon Lake RCMP detachment. In a statement, RCMP say during the arrest of 2 men who were wanted on warrants, Angus became confrontational and punched 2 police officers. Mounties say Angus was told to stop moving, but she left the front steps of the home and was arrested. Angus is facing 4 criminal charges, including possession of cocaine and assaulting a police officer in connection to Monday's incident. CTV has reached out to Angus's family for comment. Another appeal has been filed in the case of a former Saskatchewan Mountie serving time in prison for the death of his former lover. In 2024, Bernie Herman was convicted of manslaughter in the 2021 shooting death of Braden Herman. The 2 were not related. Now, during his trial, court heard Bernie Herman was in uniform at the time of the killing. Herman was originally charged with first-degree murder. That was downgraded to second-degree murder. And then the Crown appealed to overturn Herman's conviction of the lesser charge of manslaughter instead of second-degree murder. Herman also appealed his conviction and sentence. Both conviction appeals were denied, but a judge did set aside Herman's original 11-year sentence, imposing one of just over 7 years. Now, the Crown is appealing to the Supreme Court of Canada, asking it to determine if the manslaughter conviction should be upheld rather than second-degree murder, and whether a new trial should be ordered. Well, Daryl, summer is in full swing, and these temperatures not without their dangers for some.
Yeah, homeless people may be more susceptible. Carmichael Outreach is one of a few organizations working to keep the population they serve cool and hydrated. Their center, located in central Regina, has air conditioning and drinks on hand for anyone in need of a break.
Be kind and passionate. If you see somebody like laying down on the sidewalk, just give them a quick check, make sure they're okay. If you're close to a center that you know is open, just suggest like, hey, go to Carmichael, or hey, go to the Wellness Pharmacy or the Friendship Center, or even All Nations Hope. It's just easy and compassionate.
Carmichael Outreach now accepting donations of bottled water and other freezer items to keep people cool. Renewing your passport just got a little easier. All eligible Canadian adults can now do it online. To qualify, applicants must have an address in this country, be older than 16 when they got their last passport, and must have received it within the last 15 years. You'll still need to get a passport photo taken and submit a digital copy. The federal government says people should receive their new passports within 20 days and be able to track its progress in real time. Turns out many Canadians are fielding fraud attempts on a regular basis. A new poll for TD conducted by Leger found 46% of respondents encounter scams or fraud attempts weekly or even daily. More than half of respondents reported behaviors that could make them more vulnerable, such as using public Wi-Fi or opening email attachments from unknown senders. Who would do that? Almost 90% say they feel confident in their ability to spot fraud, but the bank's vice president of fraud management says that overconfidence could lead to quick decisions or overlooking some warning signs. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are back at practice with a renewed focus on defense.
Ball carrier to Javon Leaker. No, the play fake. And Fajardo wide open for Mack, who hangs onto it. So open.
Elks quarterback Cody Fajardo threw for more than 500 yards in last week's game. Not great for the Riders D, who have to regroup and go back at them this week.
We played really well. It looks bad when, you look at the stats and you say he throws 500 yards and things like that. But, for the majority of the game, I feel like we played well. We just had a couple busts, and, that's just unlike us, and we just got to get those things cleaned up.
They did what they were supposed to do, right? They came in, they chopped our head off at home. So we get to go on the road and kind of return the favor, and we'd like to go and do that emphatically.
Kickoff is Saturday at 5 o'clock in the Alberta capital. Let's get over to the Weather Center. You see a blip of rain pop up on that radar?
Yeah, very small system bringing some very light rain to Regina this morning. We saw a little bit in Moose Jaw as well earlier on. 18 degrees though, so it's warm with just a slight system that we're seeing right there. Winds are coming in at 22 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, we're at 14 degrees, mainly sunny skies, and winds coming in at 9 kilometers per hour to start the day. That morning view is brought to you by Stars Lottery, your ticket funds life-saving care across Saskatchewan. Here's a look at that radar and satellite though. So you can see that we saw some more of that thunderstorm activity throughout those late evening hours and overnight up north. And again, you can see small blips on the radar there down south with that green color. That is the thunderstorm that we're seeing. Again, just very light to start our day. As we look at the future cast though, we do see that very small system making its way over to the Parkland region later on this morning. Mainly, again, we're just talking about some thunderstorms far up north today. Into the evening hours, we do see a thunderstorm impacting areas around Estevan there. Again, it's a fairly small system, but it is going to be bringing with it some very quick accumulations of rain down through that southeast corner. That southeast corner is also where we're seeing some very hot temperatures today as well. Into tomorrow, not seeing a lot until the evening hours. This is at about 5:30 p.m. and Swift Current will also be seeing some light thunderstorm activity. So here's a look at that total rainfall accumulation. You're seeing zeros on your screen at about 5:30 p.m. today, but by midnight, that number does jump up to 15 millimeters of rain for Estevan. Again, that is that storm system that we're expecting to be just barely clipping the southeast corner of the province before making its way off into Manitoba. Today's forecast, though, as I mentioned, it's going to be hotter down through the southeast corner where we are going to be seeing that thunderstorm this evening. 33 degrees this afternoon for Estevan, 34 for Weyburn, and 32 for Regina, 32 in Yorkton as well, 31 in Moose Jaw, and 29 for Swift Current, 25 in the Battlefords today, 26 in Prince Albert, 28 in Saskatoon. We're also talking about that air quality health index. We have seen a little bit of an improvement. Yesterday, if you remember, Regina, Swift Current, and Estevan, we were at a 6. It has gone down to a 5 today, so that is still a moderate risk, but slightly improved from yesterday. Buffalo Narrows still at a 3. That is a low risk, and Saskatoon at a 4. That is considered a moderate risk. Temperatures are going to be remaining very hot for the remainder of our week, though. 30 degrees tomorrow, 32 on Friday, 36 on Saturday, and 30 degrees on Sunday. In Saskatoon, not quite as hot for the coming days, just high 20s, 28 on Thursday, 29 on Friday, but Saturday, that's the day we're expecting heat across the province. 34 degrees down to 26 on Sunday.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. We are taking a trip to Cincinnati for this one. It is the Guardians and Reds. Cincy up 2-zip in the ninth. Petey Halpin representing the tying run. Belts one to right center, but Dane Myers, real nice catch at the wall. And that will end the ball game. The Red center fielder going hard to make that clutch grab. Helped Cincinnati earn their 5th win in 7 games and also earns your must-see moment. Meanwhile, tonight, we've got MLB on TSN as the Yankees taking on the White Sox. It all gets going 7:30 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1, 4, and 5. That's all for now from SportsCenter Newsroom. Have a fantastic day.
In case you missed it, and I don't know how you could, but the Queen City X gets underway today, and there are plenty of unique food options for adventurous eaters. There's the Twisteroni, a stack of pepperoni and mozzarella with garlic butter and marinara drizzle.
I wondered how that looked.
The Cinnadog, a corn dog topped with frosting and cinnamon toast crunch pieces. Yum. The Big Dill Brick, curly fries covered in cheese sauce, dill pickles, and Cool Ranch. Brownie mini donuts, essentially chocolate mini donuts with toppings like salted caramel.
There's my favorite. That's easy.
And a Korean dog covered in icing and Oreo cookie crumbs, just to name a few. The X runs from Wednesday to Sunday at the Real District, and the Saskatoon X Parade will also be taking over parts of downtown today. The parade kicks off at 10 a.m., starting at 24th Street and Spadina Crescent East. It will wind its way down to 4th Avenue to 20th Street before heading up Spadina Crescent East and back to 24th Street. The city says road closures will be in place starting at 5 tomorrow morning, so drivers are advised to plan ahead.
Are you going to be walking in that parade, Jeremy?
I'm not this year. I'm working. The timing just didn't work out. I mean, some years it's good. This year, unfortunately,
there you go. That sound you hear is just the disappointment of all those people who wanted their signed 8x10s and selfies.
Yeah, no one's going to come now. No one's going to be there watching.
Cancel it.
Sure.
So, of course, we're asking you today because it just makes sense.
Yep.
What is your favorite fair ride?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to my childhood on this one. Jeremy, do you remember the Gravitron? Sucks you against the edge.
That's what I was going to answer as well.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money would have been lost over the years. And it was always, for whatever reason, it was always playing the same song. It was always playing Conaline Crush every time I went into this stupid ride.
Yeah.
Every single time.
That's a good one.
So
I'm a roller coaster girl, though. I want some sort
of... At a fair, though?
At a fair, I know they don't typically have the big ones. They usually only have, like, that mouse one at Calgary Stampede, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Little kid thing, yep.
But if I'm going to any other, like, theme park or something, I'm on a roller coaster.
Oh, for sure.
Do you know what I'll avoid? The zipper.
Oh, I won't avoid
Not
that.
on my life. Yeah. Never once.
Oh, I will.
That is a vomit box. That's what that thing is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy.
Exactly.
So tell us what your favorite is.
Thank you.
If you want to, you can also include your least favorite. You scan the QR code. We'll have health news in just a minute.
SK Hynix reporting disappointing, albeit record, second quarter earnings results on Wednesday, extending a wild ride for memory chip makers as investors try to figure out when a severe supply shortage will end. SK Hynix's American depository receipts were flat ahead of Wednesday's opening bell, having dropped 9% the previous session. The company's South Korean shares closed down 9.6%. At one point, they were down by 20%. And rival Samsung dropped 5.2%, and the flagship Kospi Composite fell 6%. Hudbay Minerals reported adjusted earnings per share and adjusted EBITDA for the second quarter that beat the average analyst estimate, but gold, copper, and zinc production missed estimates. Its forecast for gold and copper, though, is unchanged. And Toby Lutke, the CEO of one of Canada's largest tech companies, is facing criticism after he appeared to endorse the idea of giving the wealthy more voting power than others. Eric Thor, a former TD Bank executive, proposed on X a system in which people who pay no income tax would receive no votes, while those paying $500,000 US or more in income tax annually would receive up to 5 votes. Lutke responded, "Good system." Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
When you're pregnant, it's only natural to think about how any action you take might affect your baby. And if you're someone who lives with depression, you may hesitate to take your meds out of fear of causing harm. Fortunately, a new study shows that taking depression medicine during pregnancy is not linked to a higher risk of autism or ADHD in children. It means that moms-to-be who have been on those medicines can stay on them. And women who struggle with their mental health during pregnancy have another route for help. Other research has shown that stopping these medicines or not starting depression treatment during pregnancy has its own risks for both moms and babies. As always, any medical decisions about your physical and mental health should be discussed with your healthcare provider, especially when your health is important for your baby's well-being as well. With this Medical Minute, I'm Alex Stone.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
All right, travelers, listen up. Here's a look at your national forecast. Vancouver, we're finally getting some sunshine today after all that rain, 23 degrees. Calgary up to 28 with that sunshine. And Winnipeg, it's going to be a hot day, still with those heat warnings in effect, up to 34 degrees with all that sunshine today. As we turn our attention to the east, we see St. John's up to 17 degrees today with that cloud cover. Halifax, 24. Fredericton, 27. Montreal and Ottawa with some rain today. Montreal with a high of 23 degrees. Ottawa up to 22. And Toronto with that high of 26 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. Our average price in Regina is still $176.9. You could find it for as low as $151.9 though. In Saskatoon, your average price $178.9. You could find it for as low as $163.9. In the farm markets this morning, we find the street price of canola at $730.95 per ton. The futures price $782.90 per ton. Amber Durum wheat now at $285.20 per ton, and red spring wheat $302.92 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is up this morning. It's now at 70.91 cents US. We're in conversation with the Highways Minister in about 10 minutes on road repairs and renaming. Don't go anywhere.
Just after 6:30 on your Wednesday, thank you for being with us. A Canadian intern accused of spying at NATO's strategic military headquarters in Belgium has been denied bail.
As a country, we will continue to investigate the processes we have and the security screening.
It was announced on Saturday that a Canadian national of Chinese origin had been arrested on allegations of spying and participating in a criminal organization. The female suspect worked in Belgium as an intern at NATO's Supreme Headquarters, Allied Powers Europe, or SHAPE. Now, she's accused of working on behalf of an unnamed third country and being a member of a criminal organization. The Canadian woman can appeal the decision before the indictments chamber. Police in Ontario are revealing the details of the largest human trafficking case in their force's history.
Human trafficking is one of the most serious and disturbing crimes we investigate. It exploits vulnerable individuals for profit, fuels organized crime, and leaves lasting physical and psychological harm on victims.
Halton Regional Police say a woman who was victimized by an alleged criminal network helped them make the bust, which launched a 10-month sexual exploitation investigation. Police say there is evidence that victims were trafficked in BC, Alberta, and Ontario. Police also seized luxury cars, 2 Sea-Doos, high-end jewelry, and $30,000 in Canadian and U.S. currency as part of their investigation. 9 people have been arrested and are now facing a combined 85 criminal offenses. 12 victims have been identified, but police believe there may be more. Anyone with information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. Rescue crews in Japan are searching through the rubble of a partially collapsed mall in search of earthquake survivors this morning. Police body camera video shows the devastation inside the Aeon Mall in Japan's Kumamoto Prefecture. The mall's operator says 3 people were killed and 3 others were missing after the collapse. Officials are investigating a possible gas explosion as part of the cause of the collapse. 5 people were also killed when a chimney fell over a paper mill. There are also several people unaccounted for at the factory. Officials now say a total of 13 people were killed by the initial magnitude 7.1 earthquake. Survivors are now being warned about aftershocks that could last for about a week. Power outages are also affecting homes and hospitals, raising the risk for heat-related illnesses. An inquest into the death of a man who died in police custody in northeastern Saskatchewan is scheduled for next month. 34-year-old Trevor Charles died on July 16, 2023, after going into medical distress in his cell at Pelican Narrows RCMP detachment. He was taken to a local medical center by paramedics where he later died. The inquest into his death is scheduled for August 18th to 21st in Creighton. RCMP have arrested a 28-year-old man after a dispute between two drivers on Highway 165 on Sunday. A little before 2 Sunday afternoon, RCMP called for a report of an injured man in a rural area between Pinehouse and LaRange. Now, officers learned the driver of the gray truck and drivers of a white truck got into a dispute and a firearm was discharged, injuring the driver of the white truck. Police say he was taken to hospital with serious injuries. Officers began searching for a possible second injured man that was in the gray truck. Officers located that vehicle, attempted to stop, but the driver fled. Police later found the driver in a treed area and arrested him. 28-year-old Miami Morin is scheduled to appear in court. Prince Albert police are again asking for your help in solving a 46-year-old disappearance case. Robert Wiggins was last seen on July 28, 1980. Police say he was dropped off by friends at a home in the 500 block of 11th Street East in Prince Albert just before sunrise. Wiggins' wallet was found in the summer or fall of 1980 along Highway 16 near Radisson. It had $300 in cash and check. Anyone who knows anything about the disappearance is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. The Gordie Howe Bridge had a busy first day. Officials say about 7,500 vehicles made the crossing between Windsor and Detroit in the first 12 hours after the bridge opened on Monday. Most of the crossings were made by passenger vehicles, since many transport companies still going through the required paperwork for it. The bridge will be open to pedestrians and cyclists by August 5th. A dramatic video to show you now of a heroic effort by a rookie lifeguard in Santa Cruz, California.
But I've never seen a rescue this intense before. So when I saw that unfolding, I just didn't know how it was going to turn out.
A 10-year-old boy was swept about 13 meters offshore when 16-year-old lifeguard Ryder Williams jumped in to help. Now, several bystanders also rushed into the water, but the powerful surf quickly knocked them off their feet. Eventually, another lifeguard reached the pair, and together they brought the boy back to safely to shore. This happened on Saturday. U.S. President Donald Trump has now invited Williams to the White House to receive a high civilian honor. A bridge crossing the South Saskatchewan River on Musqueam First Nation has now been renamed. Community members gathered Tuesday to celebrate the unveiling of the Chief John Smith Bridge. Signs marking the new name replaced the Musqueam Bridge were also unveiled. Chief John Smith signed Treaty 6 on behalf of Musqueam First Nation 150 years ago. The bridge has been named in honor of Smith's legacy and his role as a leader. The name change is done through a partnership between Musqueam First Nation and the province.
It was a collective aspiration to honor this chief, to coincide with signing of the treaty 150 years ago this year.
The province says the new name reflects a shared commitment to recognizing Indigenous history, celebrating treaty relationships, and advancing reconciliation. We have the Highways Minister on in about 15 minutes. Stay with us. Researchers at the University of Saskatchewan studying the experiences of therapy dogs and the role the animals play in our communities. The team hopes to learn more about how our connections with animals can support our health and well-being. They're also exploring some of the challenges people face, including losing a pet or not being able to care for an animal because of financial pressure. The 5-year study was inspired by a researcher, Colleen Dell, who noticed after the pandemic as more people turned to animals for emotional support.
People are more and more disconnected from others in their lives and so forth, and they're geared towards getting some of that important support and so forth from animals in their lives. So that's really where the idea came from.
She was just all over.
Dell says the therapy dogs will visit a variety of facilities. Researchers will then interview the survey participants while also using creative ways to capture their experiences and better understand the impact of those interactions. We know they go to the hospitals, they go to airports, they're everywhere. We might need an emotional support pet for these temperatures. Some of them are brutal.
Yeah, and we are continuing to watch those heat warnings expand across the province today, particularly right along that eastern border with Manitoba. Manitoba is where we are continuing to see that heat as well today. Not so much over in Alberta, though. Right now, to wake us up in Regina, we're at 19 degrees. It was just a few minutes ago that we were seeing some very light precipitation. It does seem like that is pushing away from the city now. Mix of sun and cloud, east winds coming in at 28 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, 14 degrees to wake you up. Mix of sun and cloud and winds very calm, currently coming in at 9 kilometers per hour. Now, that's not to say we're not going to be seeing those winds increasing later on this afternoon. These are a bit stronger than what we have been seeing in the past few days. Could be seeing them just barely surpassing 40 kilometers per hour for some areas right along Prince Albert, Hudson Bay and Saskatoon. More of those winds up north as well. You can see some areas getting that yellow color coming in. Those could be gusting up to about 50 kilometers per hour. Current temperatures, though, across the province, we are starting to see that warm up. 19 degrees for La Ronge, 19 degrees in Melfort, 16 degrees in Nipawin and Hudson Bay right now, and 14 in Spiritwood. Down in the south, more of those 19s for Weyburn and Wynyard, 16 in Swift Current and Assiniboia, 17 in Yorkton and Estevan. Into the afternoon, though, again, it's going to be hot, especially if you are waking up with us from the eastern part of the province. 32 degrees for Yorkton today with that sunshine, 33 in Estevan. You are seeing that thunderstorm icon. That's not going to be in the early afternoon, but we are tracking a system coming up from the United States, going to be bringing with it some thunderstorm activity in the evening hours between 7 to 9 p.m. is what we're registering right now. 34 degrees today for Weyburn, 31 in Moose Jaw, and 29 degrees for Estevan. Not so bad up in the Battlefords, 25 degrees with that sunshine and 26 in Prince Albert. 7-day forecast, though, we are seeing very hot temperatures through the weekend and then finally getting a little bit of relief for our next work week. Saturday, though, is the day that we are registering the hottest of temperatures, and that is across the province. Saturday in Regina is expected to be about 36 degrees, 30 degrees on Sunday, finally dropping to 21 degrees on Monday and 24 on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, in the high 20s for Thursday and Friday. Saturday, though, 34 degrees expected with that sunshine, 26 degrees on Sunday, 20 degrees, though, on Monday with more of that cloud cover, and 23 on Tuesday. We are expecting a little bit of precipitation, too, as well. That's going to be overnight between Thursday and Friday.
The province is putting $77 million towards the PA region and northern highways, bridges and culverts. The Minister of Highways is Kim Gardner. He's in studio with us. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the good news. I mean, this is a good portfolio to have because you're usually fixing some problems. You hear about a few, but yesterday you renamed a nice area in the Muscatine First Nation.
Yeah, it was a really great ceremony. It takes them back to, in their heritage, back to their first chief, Chief John Smith. And it was in recognition of the signing of the treaty, so 150 years.
How does some of this come together?
Well, it's a partnership between the treaty of the Office of the Treaty Commissioner, Department of Highways, and of course any First Nation that wants to engage and have the discussions.
It's nice to see the turnout yesterday. This all looks like it's a very happy event. What does this mean? What did you hear some feedback? You got some people in the audience there. You must have heard some things yesterday. What does it mean to the people?
It was a very moving ceremony, actually. You know, a lot of the history, a lot of the families are still there. It takes them back to why they settled there, you know, and the recognition of their history and their community.
$77 million this is a good chunk of change up in the north. How bad were these repairs needed in that area?
Well, so part of the 77 is some new construction. So we're 20 north of Prince Albert, and some work on Highway 302. Bunch of work in Pelican Narrows, and all of the northern highways are getting some work. But we also had some repairs that we had to do based upon the spring flooding. Smoothstone Bridge was washed away. We put a temporary one in, and now we're constructing a new one. Estimated about $7 million of damage.
That's a big number.
It is, and it kind of readjusts our priorities at the time, and it's back up and operating now, so now we can get back to some of our regular construction.
You get up there, you hear some of the concerns, but you see some of it firsthand. You said before we came to air here that you put out about 4,000 clicks. Just where are you seeing the priorities shifting along the way?
Well, up in the northeast, the east side of the province, of course, we had a lot of flooding. They had spring flooding, and then they had a big rainstorm, a couple of them, that really put some water in there. And that took us, we had to readjust and put a lot of resources into there. We worked alongside with the rural municipalities and the communities as best we can. We're up there now assessing and repairing, and the total cost of it's going to be interesting to see once it's all completed.
Only so much money to go around, so does this impact things like sealing, repainting, fixing potholes?
Not really. I mean, those are tenders that we've already had out, and those are annual projects that we do. This is something that we had to respond to, and the province did.
How long till Kamsack gets its area back? Because that road, we saw the pictures of it on our show, it's devastated.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Some of them are taking a little bit longer than we thought, but that's because of contractors, supplies, all that kind of thing. And we had to wait for the water to recede so that we can go in and do some assessments on.
If somebody is watching and they have a concern about a road in their area, how do they get a hold of your office?
We've got a 1-800 number that they can contact. They can contact the ministry directly, and we will get the work done.
Head on over to the Government of Saskatchewan website if that's something that you need. Kim, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Day one of the Queen City exhibition is getting underway, and there is plenty to look forward to as the gates prepare to open. Janelle Lipai on location with a first look at the food, serving up plenty of flavor this year. Janelle, good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy. That's right. Chef Shaminda is on his way. He's getting this beautiful spread set up, and here he is. Look at that. Pizza would not be the Queen City exhibition without it. Good morning.
Good morning, yeah.
Tell me what you got here in front of us. It smells delicious.
Yeah, so, like every year we try to do something new. So this year we come up with the idea of dill pickle pizza, spicy dill pickle pizza. So far we have great comment on. So this is available during the QCX time, yes, yeah.
All right, so this did make its way into our newsroom yesterday, and we devoured it. It smells delicious. What inspired this for this year?
Oh, as I mentioned earlier, we want to do something people never had before, we want to have something, crazy, people not think about it, Once you bite into this, you will say wow, it's, usually people are, have doubtful when they say, dill pickle pizza. So this time we are okay, let's try and see, we have given a little bit of, we have put some jalapenos in a little bit to give us that cut down a little bit of, the sourness of it, and once you have it, we love it.
All right, so it is delicious. Take it from me. We've also got some burgers over here.
Yes, and then there's another element we introduced this time. That's called Smash Burger. So we have another tent on the other side of the midway. So that's another flavor we're adding on this year too. Everybody can try and see how that's come out. So I'm going to build up one if you have time.
We've got about 20 seconds or so left here, so we can speed run this Smash Burger. It's going to be worth it.
All right, so it's very easy and simple. We have barbecue sauce in it. And then one patty, a little bit of onion, and cheese.
Ooh.
And then we have another patty going on top. And then we have our pulled pork on top of that.
Yum.
And again, a little bit of barbecue sauce. A bit more in here too. Here you go. That's your smash pulled pork burger.
Delicious. Chef Shaminda, you are a pro. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you very much for having us, and I'm inviting everybody to come and try something from our Real Flavors tent.
All right, well, make sure you find your way over here. I've got to go because I need to put this in my mouth immediately.
It's It's July 29th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated happy birthday going out to Carrie. She was celebrating her special day yesterday. We hope it was a great one. Lots of love from Daniel. And today we're celebrating Knox on his 5th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Your family says they hope you have the best day ever and that they love you so much. And a big happy birthday going out to Eric. Happy 20th birthday to you. Have a great day. Lots of love from Mamer and Mervyn.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Hey, you going to come with Brandon and I to Colin Ray tonight and sing some 90s jams?
I'm always up to sing some 90s jams. Plus, I'm going into withdrawal of not having a deep-fried butter tart. It's been almost 24 hours
Put
and
it
I
in
need
my
it.
veins.
I need the fix.
What else are you talking about today?
Honestly, just that all day long. No, we are talking about the Queen City X, though, and we're talking about the rides. I want to hear from you today. You can text over 54321. What is the greatest ride of all time? Now, a lot of people saying the Zipper, Slingshot has got a few mentions, the Tilt-A-Whirl, although as I get older, the spinniness just doesn't do it for me anymore. What is the greatest ride of all time? Text over 54321, and remember, Dallas Smith on the Saturday, we want to hook you up with that meet and greet, and you can enter online at purecountry927.ca.
Welcome back.
Time to believe again in Ted Lasso. We're just a week away from the return of the Emmy-winning comedy on Apple TV. The stars of the show, along with Apple CEO Tim Cook, turned out in Los Angeles on Monday for the premiere of the 4th season, which drops on August 5th. Ariana Grande has filed a lawsuit against a group of anonymous hackers. The singer says the hackers were able to steal unreleased music from accounts and devices belonging to her producers. Another record for Ella Langley and her hit Choosin' Texas. The song hit 15 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100, the most for a non-holiday song by a solo female artist. And happy birthday to Tim Gunn. The Project Runway star turned 73 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Alex Stone, ABC News.
All right, regale us, JD.
All right, so we're going to kick this sidebar off with something scarier than a note threatening your life.
Oh, this is for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
An ungrammatical note threatening your life. Way worse.
Fix the grammar.
Especially for this librarian from Cape Breton.
No, this is for sure for us.
Yeah, this is right
We
into
are
my...
always like correcting people's theirs and
yours,
yours,
yeah. Yep. Also, you should probably run. Now to a perfect dance routine, a perfect one.
Let's go. Like that. You like that?
Yeah, I don't like cats, but this is funny. This is Hubert's new Meowsic video to the hit song I'm a Slave for You, Britney Spears. He's got everything from scratches, sporadic turns, tail wags. Just call him Kitty Spears.
You'd think that there would be a snake because of the whole music video.
Yeah, I don't know. He's doing a snake. Time out. Time out. We're going to be right back after this.
You'll watch me.
Welcome to Wednesday, July 29th.
The deal is important for them. It's not important for us.
That's the U.S. President talking about CUSMA, the impact that statement could have.
She's a potential windfall in terms of intelligence, if they can get her talking.
A Canadian intern accused of spying at NATO's strategic military headquarters denied bail. She'll stay in custody in Belgium.
People are more and more disconnected from others in their lives.
Researchers at the U of S studying the experiences of therapy dogs. We'll tell you about that. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome Welcome to your morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday.
A little bit of rain coming towards the fairgrounds this morning. Great way to kick off the X.
It does seem like that system has already passed. So if you looked outside your window this morning and thought, oh no, it's going to be a rainy day, it's actually not. That system just had to get its way through.
The system can
before the
come and stay for about a day. That would be a nice, cool things off. Are you a rides person? Are you a foods person? Or are you a games person?
I am more rides and food. I will never win the games. I think they're rigged.
I love they are, but I love the people that come through and they win the giant teddy bear and they're carrying it through.
I always wanted
they walked right through the door and they won it.
One of those like little mini bike things that people can win.
I want to drive the Shriners car in the. If you're a Shriner and you want to let me drive a car in one of your parades, I am there. 7 to 1. Let's get to news. We begin with uncertainty over CUSMA this morning as the U.S. president says he does not care about that trade deal.
Here's the thing: Mexico and Canada need us. We don't need them. The deal is important for them. It's not important for us.
Trump made the comments during a call-in interview on Fox News. It's not the first time he's taken that tone. In June, he told reporters he wasn't looking to renew the trade deal with Canada and Mexico. But this latest comment has prompted new questions about Canada's ability to get a deal done. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and his trade chief negotiator are in Washington this week, but it's unclear who they're meeting with. Just 3 weeks until that range of exports gets hit with 50% additional tariffs. Photo radar coming back to Saskatchewan later this summer. Next week, in fact, automated speed enforcement was discontinued in May after the service provider ceased Canadian operations. SGI now has a new one. Wayne Mantica reports.
Saskatchewan photo radar cameras have been sitting idle since the end of May, after the service provider decided to end Canadian operations. Now SGI has chosen an Alberta company to take over.
The new vendor is Global Traffic Group. The program, for the most part, will stay the same as it is today. The most visible change will be the equipment.
The new cameras will be mounted on poles similar to existing red light cameras. Installation will begin next month.
The photo speed enforcement program is really about safety. It encourages drivers to follow the posted speed limits, especially in high-risk areas, which helps prevent collisions, injuries, and fatalities.
Photo radar brings in an estimated $1.3 million in ticket revenue monthly. The previous service provider also operated in Ontario, which banned photo radar late last year. Premier Doug Ford called it a cash grab and promised more prominent school zone signs and other traffic calming measures. Saskatchewan NDP support photo radar.
I suppose anyone who's already struggling with cost of living and gets a photo radar probably has a reaction to them. I will say again, we're a little ahead of the school year, but just remind people to slow down and take care out there. We've seen too many people get hurt on the highways.
SGI does not plan to seek compensation for lost ticket revenue. It says the previous service provider gave advance notice of its intention to leave. The new cameras should be in place later in August. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan touting thousands of healthcare hires, but the health minister couldn't say how many workers it lost, making the number unclear how much we've actually gained in the workforce. The province says more than 7,500 healthcare workers have joined the system over the past 4 years, but when asked how many workers left over that same period, the health minister could not provide a number. Of the 7,500 healthcare workers, nearly 800 or 10% are physicians, but one of them is from Florida. He began working at the Jim Pattison Hospital in April after seeing an online recruitment ad.
We decided this is a good place to raise a family, and here we are.
Short and sweet. The province says the recruitment efforts will continue as Saskatchewan's growing population puts pressure on our system. Regina's urgent care, by the way, will be running reduced hours for the next several days. Now, the early closures begin today and run tomorrow, when urgent care will close at 2 p.m. On Friday, it'll run till 4 p.m. Heading into the long weekend, Saturday we'll have normal hours before urgent care closes at 2 p.m. on Sunday, then 4 p.m. Monday. When the system isn't operating, you're supposed to go to the emergency room instead. A video shared to social media sparking some concern. Jeremy Dodge, take us through this.
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, the video shared to social media showing the arrest of a 40-year-old woman Monday morning on the Imakwa-Sagagan First Nation has sparked concern over police use of force. Helly Mandrick has the details. A warning, though, some viewers may find the video and images in this story difficult to watch.
A video shared to social media showing the arrest of a 40-year-old woman Monday morning on the Mugwa-Sagagan First Nation has sparked concern, with some saying the RCMP officers used excessive force.
Leave her alone! Get back!
The minute-and-a-half-long video does not capture the events leading up to the arrest, but the woman, Rose Georgina Angus, is seen with blood running down her face. The situation has prompted backlash. Angus's daughter, who posted the video, also stated she's organizing a peaceful protest at the Loon Lake RCMP detachment. In a statement, RCMP say 2 men who were wanted on warrants were seen on a residential street on the Mugwa-Sagagan First Nation and arrested at the front door of a home. RCMP say during the incident, Angus became confrontational and punched 2 police officers. Mounties say Angus was told to stop moving, but she left the front steps of the home and was arrested. RCMP saying, quote, when police officers are required to intervene in a given situation, it is by nature a complex, dynamic, and constantly evolving situation, often in a highly charged atmosphere. We recognize that any enforcement action can generate strong reactions, and we take those concerns seriously. Following an initial review of this incident at the Saskatchewan RCMP district level, which included the viewing of the RCMP body-worn camera footage, the force used by the police officers involved in this incident was determined to be reasonable. Still, the Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team says it will investigate the use of force used during the arrest. Rose Georgina Angus, who is from Mugwa-Sagagan First Nation, is facing 4 criminal charges, including possession of cocaine and assaulting a police officer in connection to Monday's incident. CTV has reached out to Angus's family for comment, but did not hear back in time for broadcast. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The hot weather, some people like it, but these temperatures can be dangerous for some.
Especially the homeless. Jeremy, thank you. Carmichael Outreach, one of a few organizations working to keep the population they serve cool and hydrated. At their center in Regina, in the north central area, they have air conditioning and drinks on hand for anyone needing a break.
Be kind and passionate. If you see somebody like laying down on the sidewalk, just give them a quick check, make sure they're okay. If you're close to a center that you know is open, just suggest like, hey, go to Carmichael, or hey, go to the Wellness Pharmacy or the Friendship Center, or even All Nations Hope. It's just easy and compassionate.
Carmichael Outreach now accepting donations of bottled water and other freezer items to keep people cool. Regina City Council expected to discuss the preliminary 2027 budget on Tuesday, but technical difficulties forced the meeting to be adjourned. Yesterday, marked the first of 3 meetings for councillors, with others scheduled for the 5th of August and 8th of September. Technical issues caused the meeting to be delayed by more than an hour before the mayor and all councillors present voted to adjourn it. City administration currently forecasting a nearly $45 million increase to the general operating budget in 2027 just to maintain and deliver current service levels. What does that mean? That means your taxes are probably going up again. WestJet flight attendants could be on the picket line as soon as Sunday. The clock is ticking toward a strike deadline that could see 4,400 WestJet flight attendants off the job. A key sticking point in the talks is compensation for work done on the ground, the same issue that sparked a work stoppage at Air Canada last summer. WestJet says passengers with flights scheduled between July 30th and August 4th can make a one-time change or cancel with no fees. That discludes my wife, who's flying on the 5th. Renewing your passport just got a little easier if you are traveling. All eligible Canadians, adults, can now do it online. To qualify, you must have a Canadian address, be older than 16 when you got your last passport, and must have received it within the last 15 years. They still need to get a passport photo taken and submit a digital copy. Federal government says people should receive their new passports within 20 days, and you'll be able to track it in real time. The Saskatoon X Parade will take part downtown Saskatoon. It kicks off at 10 a.m. starting at 24th and Spadina. It will then wind its way to 4th Avenue and 20th before heading up Spadina East and back to 24th. The city says road closures will be in place starting at 5, so you better plan ahead. Let's get over to the Weather Center and see what the first day of those fairs is going to look like weather-wise. Kayleen?
It's not going to be so bad, but it is going to be hot. Let's take a look at this morning view. It's brought to you by Stars Lottery, your ticket fund's life-saving care across Saskatchewan. We were seeing a little bit of precipitation in Regina earlier on this morning. It does seem like that system has now passed. Mix of sun and cloud, 19 degrees, and winds coming in at 17 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, we're at 16 degrees. More of that sunshine up through Saskatoon, and winds currently coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. This is a look at that radar on satellite and how that system did bring just a little bit of rain a few minutes ago to Regina. You can see it's just east of the city now. Again, we were seeing more of that thunderstorm activity up north late yesterday and into those overnight hours. Right now, we are still seeing some of that thunderstorm activity far up north. And by later on into the later parts of the morning, we're going to be seeing a little bit of that precipitation in the Parkland region. Into the afternoon today, we are going to be seeing a very small thunderstorm rolling through the southeast corner of the province, right around Estevan. Still throughout the day, though, consistently seeing some rain far up north. Into tomorrow morning, not seeing a lot down south, still seeing a bit of precipitation up north, though. And into the evening hours, we are seeing a thunderstorm that is starting to affect areas around Swift Current in the later parts of the afternoon. By the overnight hours, could be seeing some of that rain in Regina again Thursday night into Friday morning. Total rainfall by 6 p.m. today, it is a 0, but by midnight, we're now registering about 8 millimeters of rain for Estevan. Again, that's coming with that very small thunderstorm system tonight. Temperature-wise, we are still seeing them between the mid to high 20s in parts of northern and central Saskatchewan, 25 for the Battlefords, 26 for Prince Albert, and 28 in Saskatoon with that sunshine today. Down south, more of those 30-degree temperatures, especially as we look towards eastern Saskatchewan. That's where we're seeing those heat warnings expanding. 32 degrees for Yorkton today, 33 in Estevan, 34 in Weyburn, 32 in Regina, 31 in Moose Jaw, and 29 degrees for Swift Current. Now, it is going to be a hot rest of the week, 36 degrees on Saturday for Regina, and that is going to be the peak of the heat across the province. 30 degrees on Sunday. We're not really seeing that relief until Monday. In Saskatoon, high 20s throughout the afternoons until Friday, and then Saturday, that peak is going to be 34 degrees with that sunshine, 26 degrees on Sunday, though. Time now for a look at our rural forecast. We are seeing some more mild temperatures to the western part of Saskatchewan today. 24 in Lloydminster and Meadow Lake, 24 in Spiritwood, 26 in Kindersley, and 28 degrees in Outlook with all that sunshine. Down in the south, again, we're seeing more of that heat as we look towards the east. 32 in Pilot Butte and Coronach, 32 in Broadview and Carlisle, and 31 degrees in Kenora today. Again, seeing more of that sunshine. Let's take a look at Purdue, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. The high this afternoon is expected to be 28 degrees. Again, a whole lot of sunshine on the way. North winds a little bit elevated compared to yesterday, though. They could be coming in between 25 to 35 kilometers per hour.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. We are taking a trip to Cincinnati for this one. It is the Guardians and Reds. Cincy up 2-zip in the ninth. Petey Halpin representing the tying run. Belts one to right center, but Dane Myers, real nice catch at the wall. And that will end the ball game. The Red center fielder going hard to make that clutch grab. Helps Cincinnati earn their 5th win in 7 games and also earns your must-see moment. Meanwhile, tonight, we've got MLB on TSN. It's the Yankees taking on the White Sox. It all gets going 7:30 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1, 4, and 5. That's all for now from Sports Center Newsroom. Have a fantastic day.
The finalists for the International Pet Photography Awards are in. The first one, rightfully called Catitude. The awards include a number of dogs, horses, and other animals across a dozen categories, some of them on your screen. An international panel of specialist photographers have chosen the finalists for more than 4,200 entries from 48 countries. That was pretty cool.
Ooh, look at
category winners and the pet photographers will be announced during a ceremony on August 1st. There's some mood to some of these.
Yeah.
I like the zebra striped one.
Some stunning photographs.
Look at that catitude. This is your cat.
Love it.
When you cornered it the other day in your fence.
In my backyard, yeah.
That was howling at the moon. We're talking about the Queen City X today. The Saskatoon X, of course, starts tomorrow. The countdown is on. The gates open at 12 p.m. today. We're asking your favorite fair ride. You walk in the gates, you see all the rides. What's the first one you go to?
Yeah, some great answers coming in on our text line today. We had Rod saying it's got to be the zipper.
Oh.
I've had an asthma attack, first time on it at 8 years old, and
He wants
had
to empty
try
his
it
system.
out every year.
That's a cleanse in a ride form. That's what that is.
Became the best ride for me. Skydiver was second. Third, the Gravitron.
Yeah, we like the Gravitron. That's
Phil
okay.
in Saskatoon saying today's question takes me back. My favorite fair ride was called the Trabant.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. But for those who don't know, this ride was featured on the movie The Sandlot, where the boys in the movie got sick after taking chewing tobacco, trying to be like the big leaguers in baseball, then riding the ride.
Okay, so there's some
Interesting.
descriptor there. Polar Express.
Yeah, Darren, who wants to go faster? Isn't that one fun? I love that one.
The Orbiter. That was a favorite of Bailey in studio here.
Yeah, we love that one. And Lee's favorite is the Spider.
She says she likes to laugh at all the other people who are scared on the ride. Just
Lois made me
maniacally.
laugh. The nice, calm scrambler.
Yeah, nice calm. Yeah.
There's an oxymoron. And Lois saying, sorry,
nice.
that's a double one. That's a double answer there. We're going to fix that next
hour. We
hour.
showed it twice. There's the QR code. You scan that. We got our morning mystery coming up in just a second.
SK Hynix reporting disappointing, albeit record, second quarter earnings results on Wednesday, extending a wild ride for memory chip makers as investors try to figure out when a severe supply shortage will end. SK Hynix's American depository receipts were flat ahead of Wednesday's opening bell, having dropped 9% the previous session. The company's South Korean shares closed down 9.6%. At one point, they were down by 20%. And rival Samsung dropped 5.2%, and the flagship Kospi Composite fell 6%. Hudbay Minerals reported adjusted earnings per share and adjusted EBITDA for the second quarter that beat the average analyst estimate, but gold, copper, and zinc production missed estimates. Its forecast for gold and copper, though, is unchanged. And Toby Lutke, the CEO of one of Canada's largest tech companies, is facing criticism after he appeared to endorse the idea of giving the wealthy more voting power than others. Eric Thor, a former TD Bank executive, proposed on X a system in which people who pay no income tax would receive no votes, while those paying $500,000 US or more in income tax annually would receive up to 5 votes. Lutke responded, "Good system." Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
10 years ago this week, everyone, and we mean everyone, was outside with their phones looking for Pokemon. Niantic released Pokemon Go in July of 2016, and it triggered a summer-long craze. The mobile game is credited with putting augmented reality into the hands of regular people. And it changed gaming by bringing real-world landmarks and the outdoors into the virtual experience.
Time for our morning mystery. It's a mystery to all of us. We don't know what it's a person, place, or thing. We'll find out all together. Let's get to clue number 1. This phrase, so apparently it's a phrase, this phrase is commonly understood to mean a powerful attraction.
Okay.
It was invented in the 18th century to describe an invisible force possessed by living things. And before it fell out of fashion, healing practitioners were known as mesmerists or magnetists. Ooh.
It was invented in the 18th century to describe an invisible force possessed by living things.
Yeah, you watch. You're going to call me a cheater for this, but I know this one. I figured it out from the clues.
As mesmerists.
From the clues. Magnetist in the last one. Nature in the first one. Jeremy, you just got it from that, didn't you? That's where I got it from. I'm hoping it's animal magnetism is what I'm hoping it is. The attraction.
I spelled it wrong, but yes, you can tell that's what I put, right?
Just like...
Oh, come on. Get in the frame.
Animal magnetism. Yes. Clues 1 and 3 gave it to me.
Yeah.
I love that. That's today's morning mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Time now for a look at our national forecast. We're seeing more sunshine over in British Columbia today, 22 degrees in Vancouver and 21 in Prince George, 28 in Calgary today and 24 in Edmonton. More of that heat over in Manitoba, Winnipeg with a high of 34 today with that sunshine. As we turn our attention to the east, Toronto up to 26 degrees, Ottawa with some rain, 22, Montreal also seeing a light rain shower this afternoon, 24 degrees, Fredericton a mix of sun and cloud, 27, Halifax 24, and St. John's mainly cloudy, 17 degrees. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. Our average price, $176.9. Could find it for as low as $151.9. In Saskatoon, your average price, $178.9. You could find it for as low as $163.9. In the farm markets, we find the street price of canola at $730.95 per ton. The futures price, $782.90 per ton. Amber Durham wheat now at $285.20 per ton. And red spring wheat, $302.92 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is up. It's now at 70.91 cents U.S. Coming up, a South Saskatchewan River Bridge has received a new name. Stay with us.
Just about 7:30. Thank you so much for being with us. My name is Daryl. Here's what's making news. The Canadian intern accused of spying at NATO's strategic military headquarters in Belgium has been denied bail.
As a country, we will continue to investigate the processes we have and the security screening.
It was announced on Saturday that a Canadian national of Chinese origin had been arrested on allegations of spying and participating in a criminal organization. The woman worked in Belgium as an intern at NATO's headquarters, Allied Powers Europe, or it's called SHAPE. She's accused of working on behalf of an unnamed third country and being a member of a criminal organization. The Canadian woman can appeal the decision before the indictment's chamber. U.S. President Donald Trump is remembering Lindsey Graham as, quote, a giant of the United States Senate.
He was the first person to make you laugh and one of the last people that you've really ever wanted to fight. These were the traits that made him into one of the great figures in Senate history.
For none of us has. That was at Lindsey Graham's funeral in Washington yesterday. In his eulogy, Trump also called Graham a true American original who left us much too soon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky were also there. Graham was a supporter, a major one, of both countries. Graham died earlier this month at the age of 71. Another funeral service will be held today in his home state of South Carolina. And our premier was at the service yesterday. He received a personal invitation from the Graham family. Lindsey Graham visited our province twice, in 2009 and again in 2015. Premier Moe says Graham had a deep understanding of Saskatchewan and its importance to energy and food security. We begin this morning with the latest on raging wildfires impacting thousands of Canadians, including many in British Columbia. Officials say the situation is intensifying in the BC community of Clinton, as more than 140 active wildfires burn in that province. Fires forcing the evacuation of the village and surrounding communities burned overnight, and now severe thunderstorms are in the forecast. A yellow thunderstorm warning is in effect for parts of Caribou, and smoke continues to impact the air quality across the province. Ontario now reportedly considering its support, reconsidering its support of that high-speed rail line.
Prime Minister Carney and his team want to, this is how they're going to treat bigger projects. I don't think you'll get much built.
A source tells CTV News the provincial government is rethinking its support for ALTA, which will link Quebec City and Toronto after the federal government ruled out the Ford government's push to expand Billy Bishop Airport to accommodate jets. The rejection came after more than 87,000 people weighed in through public consultation. Ontario's Transport Minister, Prabhat Sakaraya, has vowed to continue pushing for the expansion of the airport despite the federal government's decision. The CEO of Shopify, one of Canada's largest tech companies, is under fire for an apparent endorsement of the idea of giving the wealthy more voting powers. Over the weekend, Shopify CEO Toby Lutke responded to a post from former TD Bank executive Eric Thor proposing a system in which voting power should be tied to the amount of income tax a person pays. York University political science professor Denis Pilon says what we're seeing is an attitude that has long been held by the wealthy.
They have acted as lobbyists to, get their taxes lowered, to weaken the kind of protections that exist, say, for workers or, healthcare things. They've always done that behind the scenes. What we're seeing now is that they're coming right out in the open.
Shopify did not respond to a request for comment. Farmers now have a new tool in the fight against weeds. CTV's Maria Saru on the risks and rewards.
From above, it might look like a routine pass through a field, but this tractor isn't spraying weeds, it's zapping them.
It sparks joy. It's just another tool in our toolbox when we're trying to take an integrated approach to weed management.
It's called the Weed Zapper, and it's being tested in PEI fields. It won't replace chemical control, so farmers will still need traditional spraying or cultivation programs. It can serve as a second swipe for weeds that survive or resist herbicides, and it offers an organic option.
So these plants weren't zapped, but these ones were zapped. This is where we would have hit it with the bar, and then this is wilted, so it's just going to slowly wilt more and more.
But the current doesn't always distinguish a weed from a crop.
The weeds should be about 15 to 20 centimeters taller than the crop plants, sort of at minimum, because the machine is pretty lethal on vegetation in general.
Dry conditions bring another risk, fire. That's a concern after drought hit PEI and much of the Maritimes last year. Researchers avoid parched fields, check burn bans, and keep a fire extinguisher on hand.
I wouldn't go over top of a field of wheat or barley that's starting to dry down, even if the weeds are moist, because it has a chance to go to the barley and then set fire.
Electric weeding tools are more common in the U.S. and South America, but interest has been picking up among Canadian producers. Some units can cost more than $100,000, but farmers can share the investment and buy fewer herbicides as prices rise.
It might take 10 years, but you will eventually, when you're just driving through a rural area, you will look twice and say, what the heck is that big gray thing on the back of that tractor?
The Weed Zapper will be tested on PEI potato fields in the coming weeks, with more research on other kinds of vegetables in the next 2 years. Maria Sru, CTV News, Harrington, Prince Edward Island.
Saskatchewan's provincial parks are adding new business partnerships aimed at giving visitors more to do than just camp this summer. The new initiative is designed to bring more health and wellness experiences to parks across Saskatchewan. The goal is to give visitors more ways to relax, stay active, and enjoy the outdoors, creating opportunities for local businesses as well.
Adding health and wellness businesses to the parks is something that has been asked for in the past, and that's why we started this initiative this year.
The province is hoping more visitors will turn a campsite into a full summer experience. Not only was Thursday night's football game a heartbreaking loss for the Rough Riders, but the Elks offense really exposed the Saskatchewan defense. Donovan Mace with how they plan to recover.
The Rough Riders defense is hoping to rebound after Cody Fajardo and the Elks took advantage Thursday of some major breakdowns.
What did you see from Edmonton?
I saw the Elks. Those breakdowns leading to an explosion of offense.
Faking to him. And on that play action pass, a deep shot, complete to Keon Julian Grant.
Highlighted by a game-winning drive with multiple third and long conversions.
Fajardo needs 10, looking for more. It's caught by Luther.
Fajardo throwing a career-best 510 yards passing, including 5 completions of 30 or more yards and 4 touchdowns.
The play fake.
Going into last week's matchup, Saskatchewan had allowed just 6 completions of 30-plus yards all season.
It looks bad when, you look at the stats and you say he throws 500 yards and things like that. But, for the majority of the game, I feel like we played well. We just had a couple busts, and, that's just unlike us.
Being able to just correct your mistakes, really. I mean, we do got an extended week, so we're going to see some wrinkles, but, they're going to do what we do, we're going to do what we do.
The Riders saying a lack of communication, the root of those breakdowns, something they are honing in this week.
It doesn't matter who you play. If we have a lack of communication, bad things happen. So, looking inward as a team, certainly things we can focus on.
They did what they were supposed to do, right? They came in, they chopped our head off at home. So we get to go on the road and kind of return the favor, and we'd like to go and do that emphatically.
And looking for revenge in Saturday's rematch against the very same Elks. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
Gates open to the Queen City X at noon today, and tonight's musical acts will take us back to the 90s.
You don't know it, boy, but you just blew it. And I said, well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
who hasn't sung that song a time or two? That's arguably Colin Ray's biggest hit, That's My Story. It was released in 1993 and reached number 12 on the Billboard chart, number 6 here in Canada. He'll headline tonight with Billy Dean. That show starts at 8 o'clock and admission is free. Well, they say it's free with admission, but you paid something, right? Let's get over to the Weather Center and see if the conditions are going to be okay for that show.
Yeah, it's going to be more than okay as long as you are protecting yourself from the heat this afternoon. The evening, though, shouldn't be so bad. 19 degrees right now to wake you up in Regina. We did see a little bit of precipitation earlier on. That has now passed us. Winds now coming in at 17 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, we're at 16 degrees. Winds right now coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. Mainly sunny there, but that isn't to say that we aren't going to see any increase in those winds today. We are going to be seeing those increasing higher than what we have been seeing in the past few days, especially up north. You can see a little bit of that yellow color creeping in, indicating that we could be seeing winds up to about 50 kilometers per hour up there. All those areas lighting up in blue, though, could be seeing them between 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. Current temperatures now, we are starting to see that warm up, especially in La Ronge now into those 20 degree temps, 17 though in Prince Albert, 19 in Melfort, and 18 degrees in Hudson Bay. We are starting that trend early where we'll be seeing more of the warmth towards the east today. We're not seeing as many of those heat warnings over in Alberta, but we are seeing them expanding along the eastern border in Saskatchewan with Manitoba. A lot of those heat warnings still in effect over there. 19 degrees in Estevan and Yorkton, 21 now in Wynyard, 20 degrees in Weyburn, and 17 degrees in East End, 17 in Swift Current, and 14 degrees over in Kindersley. Again, more of that heat towards the east into the afternoon as well. 32 degrees in Yorkton today, 33 in Estevan, 34 in Weyburn, and 32 degrees in Regina, 31 in Moose Jaw, 29 over in Swift Current, 25 in the Battlefords today. You do see that rain icon down through Estevan. That is a very small system that could be bringing with it risk of thunderstorms as well. It's not going to be impacting your afternoon. What we are seeing on the radar right now is that it could be in the later part of the day, the evening, started by about 7 p.m. Right now we're seeing it passing by about 9 p.m., but things could fluctuate. And right now we're also seeing that coming with about 8 millimeters of rain. Your 7-day forecast looking hot through the weekend. 36 degrees on Saturday with that sunshine. That is the day that we're seeing the peak for that heat in central and southern Saskatchewan. 30 degrees on Sunday still. We're getting a bit of relief on Monday down south. 21 degrees on that day and 24 on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, we're seeing temperatures in the high 20s for today, tomorrow, and Friday. Into Saturday, though, again, that's the peak of this heat. 34 degrees with that sunshine on that day, dropping down to 26 on Sunday. 20 degrees on Monday, mainly cloudy skies, and 23 on Tuesday.
Time to check in on the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce as we welcome in the CEO of that fine organization, Mike Tate. Mike, thank you for doing this. Thanks for coming back.
It's good to be here.
We always talk about tariffs on the show. I can't wait for the day, just like when we were through the COVID pandemic, where I couldn't wait to not say COVID. I can't wait to not say tariff. Yeah. But it is ever present in businesses here in Saskatchewan. If 50% more tariff comes our way, how bad does that impact your members?
Significantly. I use the example in the manufacturing sector. What happens is if you take a large manufacturer, and they're under enormous pressure, not only provincially, but nationally. If you take an example of a big manufacturer here, they perform layoffs once the slowdowns occur, right? And then what happens is those secondary services, which are our members, the smaller companies that help service those manufacturers, they too get laid off, right? And then that's the trickle-down effect causes ripples across hospitality, all that stuff, less money in the economy. Reality is tariffs are going to be here for going forward. I think what has to happen is the scary part is when these manufacturers slow down, they begin to rescale elsewhere because they lose confidence in Canada. So when they do that, those decisions are permanent and you can't unwind that. The goal for Canada to negotiate these tariffs should be simple. Let's provide some stability and predictability currently with the tariffs.
Well, it's hard to do that when the president wakes up overnight and says, well, I'm going to do this on Tuesday.
Didn't say it was easy, but that should be the goal. And then leave room for negotiating to ultimately remove those tariffs down the line. Again, hard to do, but that's the goal.
How do you help your members to insulate themselves from things like this? I mean, it's incredibly hard.
We continue to advocate for, these deals to try to get more predictable. But again, that's a difficult thing down the line.
You're still doing reach outs and trying to connect people within the community to each other. You got some great events that you host throughout the course of the year.
Yeah.
Tell us about a couple of those.
Yeah, we've got our Member Appreciation Barbecue coming up on August 20th. It's free for our members. Come on down if you're a prospective member and you want to come. I'll be doing some burger barbecuing, so check it out. It'll be great. That's at Leibel Field, one of our finer Regina minor football facilities.
Just how important is it to connect those people, to make those connections? That's basically what you're here for, right?
It's everything. People do business with people they know, with people they like. They're very happy to support local if that local provider can offer great service. So it's critically important to our city.
What if tariffs are number one concern for most businesses, and I think it probably is? What's number two for your members? What are people telling you?
We recently did a survey. Without a doubt, it's cost pressures and it's taxation, right? And then you get into fiscal responsibility for City Hall. You get into the property tax aspect. That pressure is added to businesses, right? So not only are you getting taxed at the business level, but you're getting taxed at home. And that continues to be the challenge for our members.
Once some of these projects get completed, though, there's got to be some upside, right? Dewdney Avenue looks fantastic. 11th is going to be really great once it finally reopens. That has to help.
It's fantastic. You could call it construction or you can call it investment, right? You look at what Dewdney's done and the excitement now with the Yards project and what we're going to see there down the line. That's going to be super exciting. We're in year 4 now on 11th Avenue. It's coming to a close hopefully soon. That'll be great for downtown. You got the Saskatchewan Drive corridor upcoming. You've got Scarth Street. This is good
all
for
the renos that are going to happen at Real District as well.
It's exciting. Yeah, I mean, they're swinging hammers at Real right now.
Like crazy.
They're doing more investment at Real than we've seen in a decade, which is fantastic for our city. We've got Sean Semple for a mic'd up event coming up in September. He's going to give us the background and what we can really expect. And I think our citizens don't quite understand the magnitude and the excitement behind what we're going to get to see. So it's going to be cool.
It's a lot of money going into it.
It really is.
Thank you so much for this. You can check them out on their website, Regina District Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Esterhazy Community Market is on July 31st at 8:45 a.m. at 701 Park Avenue in Esterhazy. Email Renee Anderson 76@gmail.com. The Classic Car Show is July 31st at 5 p.m. at the Southland Mall. Email Friday Nights Classic at hotmail.com. A used book sale is on August 1st, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 101 Center Street in Regina Beach. Call 306-729-2062. And the Midsummer's Art Festival is August 1st at 10 a.m. downtown Main Street in Fort Capel. Visit msaf.ca for details. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
All right, let's head back out to Janelle Lippi with a look at the Queen City Exhibition's lineup of events and activities this year. Janelle?
Hi, Jeremy. That's right. We actually just survived the bouncy house behind us here. Kat Becker is joining me. We did a pretty good job. You won. You and Tim won for sure. But of course, people are going to want to come check this out when they come to QCX. Where is it located?
So we've got the Mega Bounce set up inside the Affinity Plex. It is $15 for a bounce all-day wristband. You do need a pair of socks. They've got some for sale, but if you've got some at home, bring them with you. And they've got the greatest assortment of inflatables here. Little something for everybody. They've got games. They've got the big bouncers, the obstacles. It's so much fun.
It's a ton of fun. Take it from us. We did survive it, and I would absolutely do it again in a heartbeat, Kat. Now, talk to me about a little bit more programming. The Super Dogs are joining QCX as well.
Of course, yes. We're so happy to have the Super Dogs back. They are an absolute blast. Such a great family program. We've got Ride the Vibe doing motorsports. We've got Reckless Motorsports doing drift demos and ride-alongs and demo derbies and so many great things. We've got the Classic Strongman Championship League doing demos, and we've got the 3rd annual Saskatchewan Strongest Man happening. 17 registered athletes battling it out for the title. It is going to be so great and so much more. Like, there's something for everybody.
For sure there is. There is tons of things to come check out and enjoy. Now, for those who maybe don't know, today is opening day. How long is this running for? Where can they get some tickets?
So we are running starting today on Wednesday, and we run straight through until Sunday, August 2nd. Gates open at 12. We run till midnight, and you can get those tickets online at queencityx.com or at the gate.
All right, tons of fun, Kat. Thank you so much for this.
You bet. Thanks so much.
All right, well, I'm going to go catch my breath. It's been a big morning of eating good food and getting a little workout in as well.
Rough life, Janelle. Continue to have fun, and we'll see you again a little later on.
It's July 29th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated happy birthday going out to Carrie. She was celebrating her special day yesterday. We hope it was a great one. Lots of love from Daniel. Today, we're celebrating Knox on his 5th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Your family says they hope you have the best day ever and that they love you so much. And a big happy birthday going out to Eric. Happy 20th to you. Have a great day. Lots of love from Mamere and Mervyn.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Oh, it's Queen City X Day, and you only got to try a couple of the food offerings out there. What are you going to go and try out today?
I still want the butter. I still want the butter tart. I don't know. There's a lot on there. There was the like Oreo corn dog too, which had my curiosity peaked. So I want kind of someone else to buy it, and then I just want to nibble along. I want to be that person at the QCX of this year. We still have some Dallas Smith meet and greets to give away too at PeterCountry927.ca. Also, lots of giveaways going on today after 8 o'clock here. We're going to have our workday warm up, play a little Price is Right to get you $50 to Subway, and don't forget, if you are streaming us with the iHeartRadio app, that is going to get you entered for a trip for two to Australia Music Festival. Some great tours over there as well, and you just have to listen 10 minutes with the iHeartRadio app, and you are good to go there. All the details online at PeterCountry927.ca.
All right, we're going to pick you up at your house so that you can't leave early. We'll see you tonight.
All right, we'll see you then.
Welcome back. It's good to see you.
You too.
The first trailer is out for the new season of Ted Lasso. Jason Sudeikis' title character returns to Richmond, this time to coach a second division women's team. Plenty of new faces join the returning cast members when season 4 of Ted Lasso debuts August 5th.
But football is life?
No, life is so much more than football.
Not as catchy, but true.
This is the kind of movie I love. This is the kind of movie that made me want to be in the business.
Olivia Wilde has her stars for the next movie she'll direct, the comedy Naughty. Jennifer Aniston will play a mother trying to win custody of her son from her slimy soon-to-be ex by convincing Santa Claus to testify at her divorce hearing. Emmy winner Peter Dinklage suits up to play Kris Kringle. Naughty is due in theaters November 7th, 2027. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Let's begin our sidebar with family raised on fun, not tech. I don't know where this video is from, but it could be Success, Saskatchewan, it could be Elbow, it could be Estevan, could be downtown Regina. All you need is a dirt bike, a hamper, and a rope, and probably the helmet's not a bad idea either.
Yeah, no, not bad.
Great.
This reminds me of when I was a kid and my parents used to let my brother pull me on a sled behind the snowmobiles in the winter.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, well, it was a good thing we were wearing helmets because I got knocked off a few times.
You're still here?
Yeah.
Mom wants her laundry basket back after this, too, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, well, now to a perfect dance routine set to the Princess of Pop.
There you go. Like that. You like that? Yeah.
Check out Hubert's new Meowsic video to the hit song I'm a Slave for You. He's got everything: scratches, sporadic turns, tail wags, and model-like poses. Just call him Kitty Spears.
Is this cat chasing a laser? What's happening?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
My cat, when a fly gets into my house, one of my cats just does this around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right soundtrack can make any video a little bit better. JD, one more quick.
All right, how about this scary note threatening your life?
Feel it with my bones.
Yeah, she had to translate it before she could become truly scared.
Right.
And heed the warning.
Used the wrong your, so
Yeah.
obviously this killer is not very good.
I would read it and go,
Not
my
worried.
in danger what? My in danger?
Punctuation matters. We're back right after this. It's Wednesday, July 29th.
The deal is important for them. It's not important for us.
More uncertainty over CUSMA as the U.S. president says he doesn't care about the trade deal. And if you need a renewal on your passport, you can skip the physical line. The online renewal service has now been expanded. Riders looking for a stronger defensive effort this week against Edmonton. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday.
As I used to say when the show was called CTV Morning Live, we need to come up with some words for that song.
Well, if only
we hear
viewers
it.
could
We hear it 94 times.
Well, we do it. We go bum bum
Yeah.
bum 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 bum.
Sometimes we play instruments.
We have our little band here.
Yeah.
If only you at home could see what happens behind the scenes.
We should. Well, we could fire up our Instagram. It's got it working at CTV YM Sask or whatever it is.
Instagram?
Yeah, that's for the kids. Let's get over to news 8:01. Let's talk about uncertainty around CUSMA. U.S. President Donald Trump says he doesn't care about it.
Here's the thing. Mexico and Canada need us. We don't need them. The deal is important for them. It's not important for us.
Mighty neighborly. Trump made the comments during a call-in show on Fox and Friends. It's not the first time he's taken this tone. In June, he told reporters he wasn't looking to renew the trade deal with Canada and Mexico. But this latest comment has prompted questions about the ability to get a deal done with Canada. The trade representative, Dominic LeBlanc, he's going to be in Washington this week. Unclear who he's meeting with. Just 3 weeks before we get hit with a range of Canadian export tariffs up to 50%. Saskatchewan is touting health care, thousands of hires, but the healthcare minister says he can't say how many workers it's lost along the way, making it unclear how much the workforce has actually grown. Laura Woodward looked into the numbers.
Looking for a change from Florida. We had been there about 10 years.
While he hasn't yet survived a Saskatchewan winter, Dr. Brian Stout now calls Saskatoon home. He started working at Jim Pattison Children's Hospital in April after seeing an online recruitment advertisement.
We decided this is a good place to raise a family, and here we are.
The province says more than 7,500 healthcare workers have joined the system over the past 4 years. But when asked how many workers left during that same period, Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell couldn't say.
I don't have that number. We focus on the recruitment numbers. Obviously, we look at licensure numbers.
Of the thousands of healthcare workers added, physicians account for 742 of those hires, or about 10%.
Saskatchewan is calling. Grow your practice, grow your life.
Last year's international campaigns, including ads like these, led to 7 doctors either working in Saskatchewan or making their way through the hiring process.
It's very competitive. You've got every province, for an example, just to consider Canada, offering different incentives.
The recruitment agency says affordability has become one of Saskatchewan's biggest selling points.
If you're a young nurse who's graduated from health sciences in the province of British Columbia, are you going to be able to afford a house? Well, you can here.
While the province is celebrating its recruitment, it says this isn't the finish line. Efforts will continue as Saskatchewan's growing population puts pressure on the healthcare system. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Photo radar will return in full force very soon. SGI says they've secured a new vendor for services. The cameras won't be inside these gray boxes you see on your screen anymore. They will be mounted instead on poles. The location, signage, and fine amounts, though, will not change.
The photo speed enforcement program is really about safety. It encourages drivers to follow the posted speed limits, especially in high-risk areas, which helps prevent collisions, injuries, and fatalities.
Saskatchewan has 9 cameras that will rotate between 27 locations. There's a video sparking a lot of concern on social media, Jeremy.
Yeah, Daryl, it's a video shared showing the arrest of a 40-year-old woman on Monday morning on the Makwasagagan First Nation, and it has sparked concern over police use of force. Hallie Mandrick has the details and a warning. Viewers might find some of the video and images in this story difficult to watch.
A video shared to social media showing the arrest of a 40-year-old woman Monday morning on the Makwasagagan First Nation has sparked concern, with some saying the RCMP officers used excessive force.
Leave her alone! Get back!
The minute-and-a-half-long video does not capture the events leading up to the arrest, but the woman, Rose Georgina Angus, is seen with blood running down her face. The situation has prompted backlash. Angus's daughter, who posted the video, also stated she's organizing a peaceful protest at the Loon Lake RCMP detachment. In a statement, RCMP say 2 men who were wanted on warrants were seen on a residential street on the Makwasagagan First Nation and arrested at the front door of a home. RCMP say during the incident, Angus became confrontational and punched 2 police officers. Mounties say Angus was told to stop moving, but she left the front steps of the home and was arrested. RCMP saying, quote, "When police officers are required to intervene in a given situation, it is by nature a complex, dynamic, and constantly evolving situation, often in a highly charged atmosphere. We recognize that any enforcement action can generate strong reactions, and we take those concerns seriously." Following an initial review of this incident at the Saskatchewan RCMP district level, which included the viewing of the RCMP body-worn camera footage, the force used by the police officers involved in this incident was determined to be reasonable. Still, the Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team says it will investigate the use of force used during the arrest. Rose Georgina Angus, who is from Makwasagagan First Nation, is facing 4 criminal charges, including possession of cocaine and assaulting a police officer in connection to Monday's incident. CTV has reached out to Angus's family for comment, but did not hear back in time for broadcast. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Daryl, heat warnings are continuing in parts of the province, and that can be dangerous for some people.
Especially the homeless people, Jeremy. McFavel with how they can cool off in Regina.
It's another warm day in southern Saskatchewan. With higher temperatures forecasted in the coming days, the extreme heat can be dangerous to those venturing outside. Those without a home to go to are one of the groups which are susceptible to the heat.
There's a lot of people that are sweating, and so especially if we're outside or do our wellness checks, we'll be like, hey, come inside, get cool off. It's pretty hot out here. Like, you can get sunstroke, you might get sick. So we really encourage people to come inside.
According to Environment Canada, we are currently seeing above average temperatures for this time of the year. When heading outside, personal safety and the safety of those around you should be a top priority.
Avoid that peak heat of the day as much as you can. So if you have to go out and about and do things, tend to do them in the morning hours or the mid-evening and onward hours if you possibly can. Avoid that sort of late afternoon heat, early evening heat as much as possible.
The Saskatchewan Health Authority have released a public service announcement regarding the summer heat. Seniors, young children, as well as those with chronic health conditions are at risk. To help keep safe, the City of Regina have a list of places where people can go to rest, cool off, or get a drink of water. These places include the YWCA Regina, located in the Cathedral neighborhood, the Street Culture Project Youth Safe Space located downtown, various City of Regina neighborhood centers like the Neil Bockwell Civic Arts Center, as well as all Regina Public Library locations. Water pads like this one in Albert Park are open to the public free of charge, one of the ways families can keep cool in the sun.
It's been lovely. It is full of excitement and kids having fun in the water. And the water park is lots of fun, isn't it? Yeah, we're splashing a lot today.
Those looking to find other cooling locations can do so by visiting the City of Regina's website. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
We turn now to the latest on the raging wildfires impacting thousands of Canadians, including many in BC. Officials say the situation is intensifying in the BC community of Clinton as more than 140 fires burn in the province. Fires have now forced the evacuation of the village and surrounding areas burned overnight. Now severe storms are in the forecast. A yellow thunderstorm warning is in effect for parts of Caribou, and smoke continues to have an impact on air quality. A massive wildfire in southwest France has forced over 220 20,000 people to flee. This fire west of Bordeaux has scorched an area 4 times the size of Paris. Crews are trying to contain the flames ahead of more hot temperatures and strong winds. 24 towns and villages have now been evacuated. Most evacuees are taking shelter in temporary spaces. The mass effort is one of Europe's largest evacuations since World War II. A University of Saskatchewan researcher is leading a new study into the bond between people and animals and how that connection can shape our health and well-being. Stacey Hine reports.
It may look like Molly and Ophelia are relaxing, but these canines are hard at work, providing comfort and connection.
The connection that you have with the animal that you may be not getting elsewhere. A lot of times if we took mental health or addiction, there may be stigma the person's feeling connected to that, and they're not with the animal.
Colleen Dell says the pandemic changed how many people connected with animals, as more turned to them for support.
We are seeing therapy dogs, for example, in the community. We're adopting more pets into our homes. They're becoming more important to us. And so the research has to catch up with that.
Now, with a $2.5 million federal grant, Dell is expanding her research on human-animal connections. She says therapy dogs will visit a variety of facilities where researchers will interview and survey participants and use creative methods to better understand the impact of those interactions.
We will have dog behaviorists, people who understand like the slightest little change in their demeanor and what it's saying.
Wendy Stober says the research will also help therapy dog handlers better understand their dog's experiences.
Therapy dog handlers, we kind of think that we know and have a good handle on what our dogs are feeling and their needs, but we don't really know that for sure. We're just guessing that we're doing it right.
And for Molly and Ophelia, their visits are helping researchers build a better understanding of the bond between people and animals. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
From Paris to the prairies to Paris, France, 3 Saskatoon baton twirlers are getting set to represent Canada at the World Freestyle and Rhythmic Twirl Championships and Nations Cup. Carla Shinkaruk reports.
For these Saskatoon athletes, every toss and every catch has led to this. Abby Fendelet and Brooke Elchuk enter the World Championships as Canada's #1 junior pair, giving them a shot at a world title.
These athletes have been preparing their whole life for this competition. This summer specifically, we've been training kind of 3 to 4 hours a day. They were at the National Championships at the beginning of July in Regina.
Elchuk and teammate Alexandra Malley also earned top spots on Team Canada as alternates for singles, while their competition status won't be determined until the team arrives in Paris. They're training with the same intensity as every other athlete.
The day of the competition, I'll be in my makeup already. And, you know, once the first rounds are over, that's my job's done.
They performed their routines for friends and family on Monday. This pair has their sights set on getting gold.
I never imagined me being here. Never. This has always been a dream. Like, it's unreal. It still hasn't sunk in.
The reality of being across the world, dealing with the time change, is something they have to work through.
And then the first practice, we know it'll be hard on us. And it's like 5 hours long, so we just push our hardest to get through it.
All 3 say one of the biggest highlights will be meeting athletes from around the world.
Of course, I've always wanted to see Team Canada, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Team Japan.
About 25 athletes are representing Canada in Paris, 3 from Saskatoon and 9 from Regina. The coach says Canada has built a reputation of its own because Canadian twirlers are known for incorporating their dance training to elevate their routines.
Saskatchewan as a whole is very strong in the sport of baton twirling. I would say it's probably the strongest across the country.
All 3 of these athletes will be wearing their maple leaf with pride. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Congratulations to those fine athletes. They're going to want to practice indoor in the air conditioning because it's hot out there.
It is very hot down south and towards that eastern border with Manitoba, where we're still seeing a lot of those heat warnings in effect. Right now, we're already at 20 degrees to wake you up in Regina. We did see some very light precipitation earlier on this morning. That has since passed. Mix of sun and cloud now with winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Very similar conditions in Saskatoon. We didn't see that light precipitation, but we are at 19 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud, winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at that radar and satellite to show you just how small that system was that brought some rain down south to Regina just a couple hours ago. We saw more of that precipitation overnight up north, which came with some thunderstorm activity, and that is going to continue today into the afternoon and evening hours far up north. In terms of down south, though, we are talking about a very small system right around Estevan. You can see into the later parts of the afternoon and evening hours. It is going to be bringing with it some thunderstorms as well. It's going to be bringing with it about 8 millimeters of rain as of about an hour ago. We'll give you an updated look at that in just a moment, though. Other than that, though, we're just taking a look at more of that cloud cover up north. Tomorrow morning into the afternoon hours, we do see some more of those thunderstorms rolling through the southwest corner of the province. Here's a look at the total rainfall. So by about 6:30 p.m., that number is still 0, and we are still talking about 8 millimeters of rain down south in Estevan for that thunderstorm. So no updates there since last hour. Today's forecast, though, we are seeing temperatures going up in the southeast corner of the province. We're now expecting Weyburn to get up to 34 degrees today, 33 in Estevan. Again, you see that thunderstorm icon. That's not going to be early in the afternoon. That's going to be later on for your day. 32 in Regina and Yorkton, 31 in Moose Jaw, and 29 degrees in Swift Current. Some more mild conditions around the Battlefords with that high of 25 today, 26 in Prince Albert and 28 in Saskatoon with that sunshine. Air Quality Health Index has actually improved since yesterday. Buffalo Narrows, we're at a 3, that's a low risk. Saskatoon, a 4, that is a moderate risk. Regina and Swift Current and Estevan, all at a 5 this evening. That is considered a moderate risk. Today's wind gusts are increased compared to yesterday. We are going to be seeing the strongest winds far up north with that rain. They could be gusting up to about 50 kilometers per hour. All those areas lighting up in blue could be seeing them between 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. It's going to be a hot weekend as well. 36 degrees on Saturday with that sunshine and 34 in Saskatoon with that sunshine. So get ready for a very hot weekend.
This day in history, July 29, 1981, Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer married at St. Paul's Cathedral in London. July 29, 1916, windstorms in Ontario whipped small, scattered forest fires into a 200,000-hectare fire across northern Ontario. 223 people died. July 29, 2012, Jennifer Abel and Emily Haymans took bronze in the women's synchro 10-meter platform diving at the Summer Games in London.
Have you heard the legend of the Amazon ghost dog? It's real, and the elusive animal has again been spotted by researchers in Bolivia. The study includes 500 records across the country, including surveys conducted between 2001 and 2024. They found 594 independent events, which scientists say they are giving new insights into one of the region's least known animals. Now, clearly we have footage. They have short, rounded ears, dark, short fur, fox-like snout. Their populations are higher in protected areas and indigenous territories overlapping with protected areas. But still, good luck seeing one in the wild.
I hope the ghost dog's name is Boo.
I want to know, are they dangerous?
Only because you can't see them. Ooh. What's your favorite ride at the fair? Speaking of some scary things, some of them are quite terrifying, like the zipper.
Yeah.
Anybody favorites out there?
Yeah, a few more answers coming in our text line. Kevin saying it's got to be the Scrambler or Super Himalaya. I can't remember what that one is. Do you guys know?
I certainly remember the Gravitron.
Yeah, the Gravitron is a favorite.
Everybody loses coins and money in that one.
A lot of people. That was one of our most popular answers today. I believe we have one other answer coming in. There we go. We have Fabian saying, my wife and I always enjoy the giant Ferris wheel. Very romantic.
Very romantic.
Yes.
Yes.
A new discovery could change the way doctors treat heart attacks and preserve organs. Researchers at the University of Alberta have created a first-of-its-kind drug called SNAP. The drug mimics a process found in hibernating snails and other animals. Now, SNAP puts cells into a low-energy state, which protects them when oxygen and nutrients are limited. Researchers say the discovery could help reduce damage from heart attacks and better preserve organs that are waiting for transplants.
If we use this drug in these organs, we will improve their shelf life, make them last longer, have a better chance of finding the perfect donor. The second application is that we could be giving this drug to patients that are having a heart attack and you're trying to open the blood vessel with stents or do bypass surgery. These hearts also get damaged for similar reasons. So if we could give it to a human being, the damage from heart attacks would be less.
Researchers believe the discovery could also have a role in anti-aging and long-term space travel. They say more research is needed, though, before the drug can be tested on people.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Well, there's no doubt that we are currently living in the age of AI, which changes how people are researching and asking questions. Velvet Suto is a wealth specialist, and she's here to talk to us about investing in this new age. Good morning and welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
So in this new age, do you find that clients are coming to meetings with you more prepared, or is it a little bit more overwhelming?
Yeah, so I would say that they are coming in better prepared, but they're definitely exposed to a whole lot more information. So there is a bit of overwhelm as well. And so I feel like as the advisor, what we need to do is we need to help them kind of sort through that noise, figure out what is applicable to their unique situation, and then help them to make decisions that are in alignment with their goals.
And there's so much tools right now in terms of AI that people can be using when it comes to their wealth management. But what remains your most vital role right now as a wealth advisor in this new age?
Yeah, that's a good one, because there is a lot of things like AI, there's, you know, the ChatGPT, all those different online tools. And so it's not a shortage of information, but where we as the advisor can come in is to help sort through that information, sort out the noise from what is actually relevant and applicable to your specific goals. We all have individual needs, so we have different timelines, we have different goals, different family circumstances, and different comfort levels when it comes to risk. And so if we're not feeding all of the right information into those tools, we could get led down the wrong path. And so this is where the advisor comes in, to make sure that we're picking out the relevant information, using what is applicable, and then making those decisions that are in alignment with those goals and that your particular circumstances.
You mentioned the noise, and there's so much of that online these days. So let's talk about how people can separate the credible financial advice from the noise and the speculation.
Absolutely. There is so much information out there, but it's not all relevant to every person. And so that's where really getting clear on what are your goals, what are your needs, and what we do when clients bring ideas to us is we take a look at, you know, the source. Where did this come from? We look at the advice behind, or the information behind the advice given, and then we decide what is actually applicable to your circumstance and your situation. And then that's how we weed out that noise and go with what is applicable, not what's the next trend.
Last 30 seconds here. Why do you think people should come and see you at Affinity Wealth Management?
Because we want to sit down and make sure that you have those clear goals set out.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Once again, that was Velvet Suto with Affinity Wealth Management. For more information, you can head on over to their website. That is affinitywealth.ca.
6:28. My name is Daryl. Thank you for being with us on your morning. We begin with a Canadian intern accused of spying for a third country at NATO's military headquarters in Belgium, now being denied bail. Judy Trin reports.
A Canadian intern will remain behind bars after being denied bail. The woman is accused of spying at NATO's strategic headquarters in Mons, Belgium, known as SHAPE. The suspect allegedly worked for an unnamed third country and is a member of a criminal organization. NATO interns are usually screened by member countries. In Canada, CSIS and the RCMP would be involved in the vetting.
I don't think it's worrisome.
Dan Stanton, a former CSIS officer, said this could be a counterintelligence operation, and the deliberate disclosure of ethnicity sends a message to the foreign power she's working for.
In a way, we've uncovered, or we, meaning the government, or various governments, have uncovered perhaps the modus operandi of an intelligence service, and has stopped the further development of what could be a mole or a penetration agent on behalf of another country, let's say China.
SHAPE is the command center for NATO, where the alliance plans its military operations and decides where to move troops and weapons. In a statement, Colonel Martin O'Donnell says there's no indication that NATO or SHAPE operational readiness, command and control, or ongoing tasks have been adversely affected. SHAPE, the supreme headquarters of Allied Powers Europe, hires 35 interns a year. Now that the Canadian woman and alleged spy has been denied bail, she'll have the opportunity to appeal. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, new polling suggests support for separatism in Alberta has leveled off. A survey done by Innovative Research Group shows a large majority of voters in every region of the province want to remain in Canada. The largest support for staying in Canada is in Alberta's two biggest cities. Calgary had 78% of respondents say they'll definitely or probably vote to stay, and Edmonton had 80%. And in rural areas, that vote won to stay by at least 2-1. 66% of respondents in central and northern Alberta say they'll vote to remain, and 72% of those in the south feel the same way. Those numbers aren't far off from what we've seen in other polls.
This is a case where people's views are locked in. I don't think that there are a lot of people who are on the fence and, could be swayed by an argument in one direction or another direction.
It really boils down to getting people out to the polls. It's the side that shows up on referendum day that will win the vote, and that means people can't be complacent. They can't just post their opinion. They've got to get out and put an X beside their name.
The poll was commissioned by Vote to Stay, which is a third-party advertiser, easy for me to say, that includes former Premier Jason Kenney. The poll surveyed 2,000 eligible Alberta voters between June 4th and June 12th. WestJet flight attendants could be on the picket line as soon as Saturday, as my voice fails me. Pardon me, the clock is ticking toward a strike deadline. You tried talking for 3 hours straight. That could see a 4,400 WestJet flight attendants walk off the job. Key sticking point is compensation for work done on the ground. WestJet says passengers with flights scheduled between July 30th and August 4th can make a one-time change or cancel for free. Renewing your passport just got easier. All eligible Canadian adults can do it online. To qualify, you must have a Canadian address, be older than 16 when you last got your passport, and have received it within the last 15 years. You'll still need to get a passport photo taken and submit a digital copy. A federal government representative says that people should be able to receive those within 20 days and be able to track their progress in real time. Melville residents celebrating the grand reopening of a local bank. You'll remember the BMO branch closed. There's a lot of controversy around that. Now Connexus Credit Union is marking the completion of its renovations and reopening of their branch. The company says it represents millions in economic investment in that city. The 6-1 Edmonton Elks may open the Upper Bowl at Commonwealth Stadium for this weekend's game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That's a big deal. Things have gone well for the Elks this season. They've won 6 of their 7 games and are leading the CFL's West Division. The Elks say a lot has changed internally over the past 2 years. Good draft picks, trades, and overall roster improvements have helped them to this hot start. For longtime fan Mark Kay, it gives his family something to cheer for and his son a chance to see the team in the Grey Cup maybe for the first time.
past to come, they haven't wanted to come as much, but now with the resurgence, it's huge. Like, kids want to come, their friends want to come to the games. In previous years, we found a way to lose. Now we're finding ways to win, and it's just exciting.
Make no mistake, the Riders' defense is looking for some payback in this one.
We played really well. It looks bad when, you look at the stats and you say he throws 500 yards and things like that. But, for the majority of the game, I feel like we played well. We just had a couple busts, and, that's just unlike us, and we just got to get those things cleaned up.
They did what they were supposed to do, right? They came in, they chopped our head off at home. So we get to go on the road and kind of return the favor, and we'd like to go and do that emphatically.
Off Saturday, 5 p.m. in the Alberta capital. Here, closer to home, gates at the Queen City X open at noon today, and tonight's musical acts take us back to the 90s.
Said you don't know it, boy, but you just blew it. And I said, well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's arguably Colin Ray's biggest hit. That's My Story, released in 1993, reached number 12 on the Billboard chart, number 6 in Canada. He will headline tonight with Billy Dean. That show starts at 8 o'clock, included with your admission. Pure Country's Brandon Hall and I are going to be in the crowd singing some 90s jams. Do we need copious amounts of sunscreen, or should it be okay by 8 o'clock?
By the evening, it should be okay, but the afternoon is going to be hot. You are going to want to put on that sunscreen. We're at 20 degrees already in Regina. Winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Mainly sunny skies now, although we did see some precipitation overnight. In Saskatoon, we're at 19 degrees now. Winds also coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Mainly sunny to start the day. Winds are going to be increasing this afternoon, mainly as we turn our attention to the north. All that color in the yellow. We could be seeing winds gusting up to about 50 kilometers per hour in the far north. Other than that, though, the blue color on your screen, winds could be gusting up to about 40 kilometers per hour. So increased, but still not so bad. In terms of current temperatures now across the province, we are starting that trend early, where we'll be seeing more of that warmth towards the east today, over into Manitoba, where we're still seeing a lot of those heat warnings in effect. 21 degrees now in La Ronge, though, 20 degrees in Nipawin, South End, Melfort, Hudson Bay, and Prince Albert. Down in the south, again, seeing that trend of more warmth to the east. 22 degrees in Estevan, 23 in Weyburn right now, 21 in Yorkton, and 22 in Wynyard. A bit cooler over in Kindersley, 16 degrees, 17 in the Battlefords. Into the afternoon, we will continue that trend of that warmth down through the southeast corner. 33 in Estevan today, 34 in Weyburn, 32 in Regina, 32 in Yorkton, and 31 in Moose Jaw. Other than that, though, on your screen, you are seeing temperatures in the high 20s, swift current up to 29, 25 in the Battlefords, 28 in Saskatoon, and 26 in Prince Albert. Again, though, you are seeing that thunderstorm icon down through Estevan. That is not going to be in the early afternoon. It's going to be in the later part of your day, into your evening hours, with a bit of rain on the way with that risk of thunderstorms. Temperatures are going to remain hot through your weekend, especially as we look forward to Saturday. 36 degrees on Saturday in Regina with that sunshine. We are going to be seeing a little bit of rain on the radar. It seems likely overnight on Thursday to Friday morning, but by the afternoon that will be clearing up. We're not getting a lot of relief from these extreme temperatures until Monday, as we drop down to 21 and 24 degrees on Tuesday with that mix of sun and cloud. In Saskatoon, temperatures remaining in the high 20s through Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon. 29 degrees on Friday, up to 34 though on Saturday. That's the afternoon where we will be seeing the peak of the heat for many places in central and southern Saskatchewan. 26 though by Sunday, and that relief coming on Monday with that cloud cover down to 20 degrees, 23 on Tuesday with that mix of sun and cloud.
Regina and Saskatoon have a storied junior football rivalry dating back to when teams played on fields where some areas literally looked like a sandlot. Welcome to 1985. 8 tracks are gone, Regina was called the Rams, and we found rare footage of this crazy matchup against the Hilltops at Gordie Howe Bowl in Saskatoon. The Rams came out of the gate early, scoring on their first 2 possessions, but the Hilltops would strike back, courtesy of this touchdown pass to a guy named Tom Sargent. Yes, that's him. The Rams would get an equally nice touchdown, courtesy of this pass from Dean Picton to Justin Hammond, who would flip the ball to Dan Johnston, and the Rams are up by 14 points. But the Hilltops would counter with 3 field goals, and then this interception by Scott Hunseth. He would rumble 37 yards back to the house. The Hilltops would also get a 2-point conversion and led 24-21 at the break. But in the second half, the Rams would get 2 straight touchdowns and retake the lead 35-24. The Hilltops would claw back with this long touchdown pass to pull within just 4 points. But it's the defense that would seal it for the Rams with this Rick Lavoie interception. Regina won a wild game, 38-32. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Let's check in once more with Janelle Lippi for more on how we can all enjoy this year's Queen City exhibition.
All right, well, it is a day 1 of QCX. We've had a ton of fun here this morning, tons of good food as well. And as we're wrapping things up, I've got Kyle Russell with me. Now, Kyle, this is your first year working here with QCX. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm most looking forward to seeing what Regina comes out for the fair like. We know people really love to people watch at the fair. And what's really beautiful about Queen City X is it not only reflects the best of Regina and the community we've got here, but it brings the world to Regina as well.
For sure it does. A great way to get the community together. So if you do have some time here this weekend, the coming days, make sure you're coming out to QCX. Now, rides. Are you a ride person? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, you bet. I love rides. And the Zipper, of course, is a fan favorite that everybody loves. We know Zippers are actually quite rare within the Midway program, so we're excited to have the Zipper here this year. And tons of great rides. We've got a new ride, which is the Berries, and that's over in Kittyland, and we're excited to have folks from near and far come and try that one out.
Okay, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Now, earlier this morning, we were with Chef Shaminda trying some great, delicious food. Have you tried them yet? And do you have one that you love the most?
Oh, I love the food at the fair. I mean, who wouldn't love the food at the fair? What's really great about the food here, too, is that it is award-winning. So, you know, we got a group here called the Little Donut Bakery or the Mini Donut Factory. Both of those are award-winning mini donuts. So, you know, when you're coming here, not only are you trying delicious food, you're trying award-winning food as well.
All right. Well, I'm a big mini donut girl myself, so you can definitely find me at those stands. Before we wrap things up, Kyle, where can people go for more info and maybe some tickets?
You can get tickets online at queencityx.ca, or you can come on to the gates over here and get tickets. Prices are exactly the same, so walk on up or purchase online to avoid the line.
All right, Kyle, thanks for your time here this morning. And once again, QCX beginning today. You've got a whole weekend full of fun and excitement and, of course, some delicious food to try.
Exciting times, Janelle. Thank you very much. Well, Saskatchewan's provincial parks are getting a fresh look this summer, trying to offer visitors more than just a campsite. Erica Matarash has those details.
Saskatchewan's provincial parks are adding a new layer to the summer experience, one that goes beyond just camping.
We're really excited about our new businesses at Sask Parks. We started a new health and wellness initiative with the ministry this year, and we're really excited about that.
Ruman Sik says the push for more health and wellness options came after visitors asked for more things to do in the park. At Blackstrap, Cheryl Kish is bringing her yoga practice into the outdoors, offering Hatha and Yin sessions for both adults and children.
It's about being able to liberate your mind from all the stresses of the day and the thoughts that happen and just all those inside things that come up as well.
She says practicing outside adds something you just cannot get in a studio.
This is just kind of in a way that we can enjoy nature, but also enjoy the practice as well for what it has to offer.
And for Kish, the setting is just as important as the practice.
Feeling the sun on your skin, hearing the birds in the background or kids playing and laughing, it really adds and allows you to kind of find that presence in another sense.
In Buffalo Pound, the experience is also expanding for wildlife lovers.
I created the Wild View to try and get people outdoors and curious about nature and birds and wildlife, as Saskatchewan's so rich and there's so much to offer here.
She says her tours are about more than just ticking species off a list.
One of my favorite parts about running tours is helping people not just see the birds, that's always great, but really to see nature differently.
Marshall Morgan with Loon & Co. is bringing a new wellness experience to Rowan's Ravine.
We've designed the space for people to utilize it to go through the heat and cold cycles and to have a place to rest and relax, but also to connect with family and friends and the people that you bring out here.
He says the location was a big part of the draw.
The opportunity to have a space out here for people close to Regina, but also the surrounding communities here. We just thought it was a great fit.
At Saskatchewan's provincial parks, where the only thing more refreshing than the view might be the new experiences that come with it. Erica Madarash, CTV News, Rowan's Ravine.
Greetings, everyone. A Saskatoon entrepreneur competition is expanding and hoping to unearth the next great Saskatchewan story. The annual program is intended to empower Indigenous entrepreneurs with some cash prizes up for grabs. As Keenan Sorokan tells us, it has the power to inspire the future.
SREDA, the Saskatoon Regional Economic Development Authority, and the Saskatchewan Indian Institute of Technologies are teaming up and taking the province's startup landscape to soaring new heights.
I think we recognize there's so many great Indigenous entrepreneurs across this province, and although there's a lot in Saskatoon, we just felt like there were so many that weren't getting the chance to be part of this community.
SOAR is an Indigenous entrepreneurship competition that sees Indigenous-owned businesses in Saskatchewan compete for a total prize pool of $50,000. But while they compete against one another, the competition allows them to connect, be in workshops, and spend time with some of the greatest business minds in the province.
Some of these Indigenous entrepreneurs that maybe don't have access to facilities like these or programs like this, say close to them, where they've got that virtual connection now, that bridge can be built.
Christine Marie won the 2022 competition and says SOAR was life-changing for her and her company, Oasis Boutique. Rather than be surrounded by people trying to tear you down, SOAR has the capacity to lift you up.
Knowing when you looked out and saw a room full of people that were rooting for you, that's a big difference maker.
Applications are now open, with the pitch finale taking place in October, and everyone involved in helping give the next Saskatchewan success story the push it needs is happy to show what's possible by connecting with the right people.
You're pursuing your business, nobody's going to want it more than you, but that you have all those champions and those cheerleaders right in your back pocket who are standing alongside of you and wanting you to succeed just as much.
For Indigenous Circle, I'm Keenan Sorokan.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Welcome back.
Time to believe again in Ted Lasso. We're just a week away from the return of the Emmy-winning comedy on Apple TV. The stars of the show, along with Apple CEO Tim Cook, turned out in Los Angeles on Monday for the premiere of the 4th season, which drops on August 5th. Ariana Grande has filed a lawsuit against a group of anonymous hackers. The singer says the hackers were able to steal unreleased music from accounts and devices belonging to her producers.
He's choosing Texas, I can tell.
Another record for Ella Langley and her hit Choosing Texas. The song hit 15 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100, the most for a non-holiday song by a solo female artist. And happy birthday to Tim Gunn. The Project Runway star turned 73 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Alex Stone, ABC News.
Summer vacation can be a time when children drive their parents up the wall. But for some families, it's actually the kids making the climb. Damian Smith explains.
Got the corner? Nice.
Katie Gannon is the owner of the Regina Climbing Center. This summer, she's hosting day camps for kids as young as 5 years old, enhancing their physical development as well as gaining skills and courage. She says the kids love it.
It's hard getting them off the wall sometimes, actually.
Getting them off the wall means getting them off the couch, which can also be hard for parents to do.
It is kind of a way to trick yourself into working out, like doing a workout, because it's all body weight training because you're basically hauling your body weight up the wall.
This group of campers are aged 10 to 12, and for some, it's not their first time rock climbing.
I really like the challenges of it. I think that I really like to do what I think is the hardest because I really like to get to the top.
Like, it's not just climbing up a wall. You even have to like wedge your leg in places. You can even do a bat hang where you hang upside down by your feet. They're lots of fun.
And as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. Climbing is also a mental exercise, with the children needing to find the best way to get to the top.
It helps with problem solving because if you're climbing all the way up there but you can't quite make it, then you can come back down and take a look where you could like grab the next hold or put your foot.
When parents pick their kids up, Gannon says they are pleased to see how rewarding this experience has been.
And for them, it's just fun. They don't see it as a physical workout until they come back the next day and they're like, hey, I'm sore.
I got you.
Not only is the Climbing Center taking summer camp to new heights, they also offer classes year-round for the young and young at heart. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Today in good news, the story behind a 4-year-old's unexpected walking companion.
On any given day, you'll find 4-year-old Amelia walking with just one lizard.
She's not a real lizard, she's just a toy lizard.
A toy lizard named Lizzie, whose story begins with a very real dog named Zuri,
who was my wife's dog from the time she was a puppy.
And when Kyler Nurmsu's wife got pregnant, they couldn't wait to introduce Zuri to their first baby.
I met real Zuri in my mommy's tummy.
Unfortunately, they had to put real Zuri down less than 2 months before Amelia was born.
You know, that was really devastating to not have the two of them meet.
So Kyler found a chocolate lab stuffy that his wife brought to the hospital so Zuri could be there in spirit when they welcomed Amelia into the world.
Eventually, Amelia kind of claimed that stuffed animal as her own and wanted to take it for walks.
Whenever her dad would take their remaining dog, Baloo, for walks, Amelia would do the same with their stuffed animal, Zuri.
Which I think is especially meaningful for my wife, but certainly for both of us.
Despite how caring Amelia was with that toy dog, the girl considered it her parents' pet. So when Kyler and his wife happened upon a store that was selling a rubber lizard on a leash,
we're like, that is going to be perfect for Amelia to take for walks.
They were right. Amelia and Lizzie have been going for daily walks ever since.
Makes me feel happy and Lizzie feel happy.
While Kyler and Baloo's goal is simply exercise, Amelia and Lizzie are also pursuing creative escapades.
This is Lizzie's skateboard.
When Lizzie isn't racing around on skateboards constructed from leaves, the lizard is bravely leaping off giant cliffs, so Amelia can find the courage to do the same. A very real dog's legacy of love, passed down from parent to child to lizard to everyone, Amelia hopes, who passes by.
Makes people feel really happy, happy, happy.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.
First, very glad that's a toy lizard.
Yeah, I didn't see that at first. I thought, oh my gosh, she's dragging it. And then I was like, oh, it's a toy. It's a toy.
Nice to have some companions on your walk, though. Let's get to your sidebar. It's going to be really, really fun to watch. Director Corey in my ear says, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, let's go back to the Queen City X and watch Janelle Lipai and our camera expert Ashley Scarf earn their Athlete of the Week honors. They are in Mega Bounce. Let's roll the video. Here they go. This is the big inflatable that you can pay, I think they said $15 and go through.
Yeah.
She borrowed some socks. She went home before the show to put on some real pants so she could accomplish this feat. And I think Ashley is more stable than Janelle might be. Oh, maybe to a point.
Oh, yeah, there she goes.
Well, with the camera.
Right.
Very good.
She's got a degree of difficulty to her.
They are such stars. Look at my best friends go.
Here comes some, hey, wait a minute. Jeremy and I are right here.
Look at them.
Some trepidation as she goes up to, I think we should sign her up for American Ninja Warrior.
both of them as a team.
Yeah, they would need to go as a team. Ashley would need to help Janelle in several instances.
There's nothing they're bad at. They're just so good at everything.
Well, let's see if they're good at the dismount. Let's see about the dismount before we make that.
Oh, they're holding hands. Why wasn't I there?
We watched Tim Day go through this from the Queen City X and formerly Pure Country, and he almost died going off the end of that thing.
Look
He
at
went
that
so
smile.
fast.
How could you not love that smile?
Pure joy. The Queen City X gates open at 12 o'clock today.
I'm just jealous. I'm just sitting here
Well, we can go.
reeking of envy.
We can go and become best friends.
I'm a green-eyed monster.
It's fine. A number of Colonel Sanders' personal items are going up for auction this week.
And of course, one of the most interesting items and most popular in the pre-bidding online right now is one of the Colonel's string ties, or as people sometimes refer to
So the KFC founder's pressure cooker, his watch, a bust sculpture by his daughter, and original cash register are all up for sale. He sold the company to investors in 1964. He stayed around as a brand ambassador. So you can spend some cold hard cash on some KFC.